Thank you, Rachel. Thank you to Ubisoft. Thank you to Japan. We are very excited for Operation Shifting Tides. Going to be with you real soon, but before then, minasan, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It is time. It's the grand final. Pro League Season 10. 10 Pro Leagues. All of these amazing regions, all of the teams who fight in them. And a new champion will be crowned right now to lift this trophy, to never be forgotten as a champion of a Pro League. And remember, the 6th Invitational not far away. We have NA versus EU. We all love to see it, although we may root for APAC right here in Japan, everywhere else around the APAC region, and further away in Brazil and so on for Latin America. We know you're with us. It is NA against EU again, but it is the best of NA and the best of EU. Who will lift the trophy? Who will be your champion? Here are the 10 players who want to do it.
Second, hard cold is there, and North America represented in the grand finals.
This timer's so dangerously low, he has to kill both of them so very quickly, but it doesn't matter!
Navi! For the grand final, please welcome the #1 team in EU and the #1 team in NA, Navi and DarkZero! #1 in Europe, making their way through Challenger League, through Pro League. #1 in America, players who've been on some of our biggest stages. Now the #1s in NA for the final, Navi and DarkZero. Citizen, let me talk to you before their fight for this gets underway. Congratulations to all of you on making it to the grand final. We talked earlier about how you dropped so many in map earlier on. He thinks he may drop 23 in a map again against DarkZero. Are there any words you want to say to this audience for the support they've given you and this fight we're about to have?
Thank you so much for the support. You know, we can hear you while we're playing. You know, the chants, the claps, everything. It's amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us.
How confident are you going into this game? I've asked you, can you do it? I know you've been having fun.
I'm really confident going into this game, to be honest, after what happened just now, so.
Navi are ready. They are warm. They are coming for you, DarkZero, after that semi-final performance. Any words, firstly, from you towards the audience who are here?
All we got to say is we love Japan.
Nice. You crowd pleaser, man. Navi, maybe unexpected. A lot of people were thinking you'd make the final, to be fair. A lot of people knew how good you were, but this story of them getting all this way wasn't, you know, maybe as guaranteed as some other teams' routes. Have you prepared? Are you ready? Are you going to show them what NA can do?
We thought Navi was going to make it to the finals. They're #1 seed, and we're ready for them.
They're ready for you. We are ready as well. Tokonome, minasan, ladies and gentlemen, it is the grand final. We will crown our Season 10 champion. Good luck to Na'Vi. Good luck to DarkZero.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals time. We are in, it's grand finals here. DarkZero versus Na'Vi. The Cinderella story has arrived. And my God, I have been looking forward to this quite a bit. Who would have thought that we'd end up with EU versus NA yet another time? I know you're looking at me funny. I don't know why you're doing that, but here we are.
Well, it almost didn't happen. We almost didn't see a European team make it to the grand final. Na'Vi had two very tough 2-1 victories in order to get to. They had a very difficult match against Wildcard, much more difficult than they were expecting, and even Reciprocity gave them a serious fight just now in the semi-final.
Not just that, the whole road up there. There's so many things that had to go right for Na'Vi. They had to win their Challenge League, they had to get into Pro League, they had to qualify here and then actually make it. It's been quite a challenge for them to get.
For a lot of the season, we thought that it would be Giants who'd come out top of EU. It was only in the last few play days that we realized actually Na'Vi have a serious shot. And in contrast, across the pond in NA, DarkZero, I don't think there was ever a point in the season where we think, no, DarkZero is not going to make land. Through and through, they were a dominant force in their region.
I mean, we've waited time and time again to see them get into a final. And I'm really happy that it's these two teams facing up against each other because I think we're in for one hell of a good match.
Yeah, Na'Vi really struggled through to take down Reciprocity, but hey, in the end, they proved to be the better team in that matchup. Even though it got so tight, that's what matters, the W at the end of the day. And as you said, Na'Vi's journey to get here has been a very long one. But here they are in the grand final, and I don't think they're going to be giving up anytime soon. But that's Na'Vi, DarkZero on the other side. Yeah, they've been struggling to get here.
It might have been a while since we've seen these guys at LAN, way back in year 2, and they've made a lot of changes since then. But at this event itself, they've had a bit of a cruise through their quarterfinal and their semi-final. They haven't dropped a map along the way. They haven't really been pushed to overtime or even what I would call a close game on any of the maps that they've played so far. DarkZero seem to be in top form, and in fact, for both of these teams, the best we have ever seen them, the highest accolade either of these teams has ever accomplished is right now coming first in their region and then winning their semi-finals. They've never been this high before.
Nope. And this is the difficulty of being in this situation. It's brand new for you, and there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of pressure. This is EUNA as is tradition. It definitely is a tough fight mentally as well to deal with.
I mean, if you're scared in the first fight, maybe a little scared in the second, then you got to be terrified now. There's no other way about it. Everyone, and I think G2 will agree, their first ever time they lifted that trophy, just looking at it before the match, you got the shakes, man. I don't care how skilled you are, how much you think you're gonna win, you are petrified and terrified inside.
Well, once you make it this far, there is no turning back. Citizen broke the kill on map record in a map that he lost, his team lost. He wants it so damn hard. Na'Vi, they've gone from UK Prem, CL, PL finals. There's no chance that they're gonna lie down and be happy with, even if they go all 3 overtimes but lose it, that's not a happy scenario for either of these teams. Both teams need to take it home.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what maps we're going to get in this series because it seems like there are definite weaknesses. We saw how Cafe ended up being for Na'Vi in their first matchup yesterday. Then Consulate was the shaky one against Reciprocity. They seem to be very comfortable on Villa, but this is a map that also DarkZero is comfortable on, historically speaking. And then Clubhouse, also a tough map to beat DarkZero on.
I'll say for DarkZero, they've gotten stronger through the tournament, right? So their performance in their second game was better than their first. And if they are actually hiding maps for the finals, if they were that sure of getting to the finals, and they got some maps that they've banned a lot, then that can really throw something under Na'Vi.
We talk about how deep DarkZero's strat book is. They're not going to save anything for a grand final because they know how important it is to get the quarterfinal and semi-final. At the same time, their strat book's so deep. They've only played 4 maps so far. They've got plenty left in the strat book. On the flip side, Na'Vi, we've seen 6 maps from them so far. That's 50% more than we've seen from DarkZero. And on top of that, DarkZero had a chance to relax this afternoon and watch their opponent gruel through a semi-final in order to get to this point.
And we have some maps for Na'Vi that have always been bans that they haven't let through. They've banned them all the way up to the finals, and one of the maps that we thought they were going to be really good on, they've mentioned and proved that they aren't actually comfortable on anymore.
And in contrast, they did a really, really good job on Villa, which we didn't know very much about for them.
So I think both teams has something up their sleeve. It's not like when you play the semis that you're, you know, not playing a certain map because you're that sure you're going to be in the finals. Maybe if you've been in the finals a couple of times and you're pretty confident, but you really want to make it to the finals to start off with. But I hope they have something ready, because you got to throw something out there that DarkZero hasn't fully prepped for. And on the other hand, Na'Vi has to be really confident in this aggressive playstyle that we see them do so well.
Yeah, and if one thing has been proven is that you don't take DarkZero to bank. So this is a map for me that I assume will be the first ban for Na'Vi.
It's always the insta-ban. That's the thing. Going up against Wildcard earlier in the tournament, it's Wildcard's best map. And Na'Vi, not only do they just use their insta-ban, but they also get rid of their opponent's best map. Real question is, if they have been saving it, there is no better time to whip it out, because they have so much information on how DarkZero played bank. They could have even been watching DarkZero earlier today to get that information. It's a far cry, but I really hope.
A few teams we've seen save maps through a whole season and go to play them in finals have almost always won the map that they saved. So maybe, I don't think Na'Vi is going to magically pull a bank and gamble everything on that. But it's hard to say, man.
There is one match that you can find of Na'Vi on bank. It was their final play day of the Pro League. They beat Chaos 7-5. That's not a dominant victory against a team, Chaos, that hasn't been performing that great lately. So you'd think that if Na'Vi have something saved, they would have dumpstered Chaos on it. It's a bit of a question mark for me. I'm guessing it's just going to get bank straight out of there from Na'Vi, and DarkZero are likely going to have a lot more flexibility and freedom within the ban phase.
I'm thinking I'm hoping we're gonna see 3 maps and no, you know, stomp in any direction whatsoever, because I want this to go on for as long as it possibly can. That last part of the last map, when you're 1 or 2 rounds away from crowning a champion, is really what this match deserves that.
What I'm super excited about is having a look at DarkZero's most banned maps, Coastline and Villa. They're not really Na'Vi's best maps, which means if DarkZero want to go for a comfort ban, we're still going to be on strong turf for Na'Vi, which means that, in my opinion, we're likely to get a lot of maps that will hopefully be closer, likely to be, instead of one team's least favorite map, one team's most favorite map, it's going to be much more even grounds. Both teams really good on a certain map and heading all the way through. That's what I'm hoping to see.
With their performance in Clubhouse, it would be nice to see them stack up. That could be a really interesting matchup, because you have, you know, complexity and discipline from DC, and now just proved that they can actually attack pretty well on Clubhouse. They've done it twice now. But do you play a map that you've already played twice in the tournament? Isn't that too much of a gamble?
Well, we have our maps ready, so let's take a look at our map ban phase, and then from then on we can kind of prepare things. We've been talking theory. We want to be a bit more specific. Villa bank will be removed. We're left with Consulate, our first map in the series, Coastline as number 2. And then we go to Border. All right, so a map that we really did not really see too much. We saw it once in this tournament so far. Na'Vi on Coastline is going to be pretty cool. Consulate, DarkZero. They've watched how Na'Vi plays. I was expecting things to go awry, and you saw Na'Vi going for the bank auto ban.
Yeah, the bank auto ban, I mean, we would have been surprised if they pulled it, and we would have been pretty hyped, I think.
I've got to hope for it, even if it's not going to happen.
I'm always waiting for people to pull out that ban that they've been saving the whole season.
What I really am keen for, you know, Citizen on stage, he broke the kill record, 23, and then he said, I want to break it once again. Well, guess what? First map up, picked by DarkZero's Consulate, where he broke the record just moments ago. Going back there, DarkZero were clearly watching that match, and they're aware of what Na'Vi were doing. They're ready to start making some changes if needed. Is Citizen going to go back to the same damn map and break his own kill record that he made only 3 hours beforehand?
Well, a lot of the things that helped him get all those kills were those banner takes as well. His position, playing there, people having to fight him. So if I'm Na'Vi right now, I'm not playing the same stuff that we just did, right? You're looking to maybe go a little bit further back in your strat book and play some stuff that you know works and you've just kind of moved on from. Or you have something new ready, but there's no way they go in and do the exact same thing. You said it already, they're not Empire, they're Na'Vi.
Look, it has been figured out. Running that Hibana in the style that they're doing it, if they don't have control over Yellow Stairs and Garage, that is not going to happen. Thermite will be the play. I assume that they will try the Hibana, the same strategy that they did before, and then should it fail, then they will try something else. But they'll keep going with the same horse that they've been running through if it does connect.
I mean, even for that, if DC actually did watch it and they are actually doing the same, DC is going to be running a bathroom hold with maybe some mirror windows and some open walls. So it's going to take them longer to get that piano control, because if they don't get piano, their strat fails.
And in terms of just kind of standard performance of these teams, if you want to look at the recent Pro League history, Na'Vi's been doing pretty well. They even 7-1 Vitality on the map, which is a great performance. Vitality are a really formidable team. You want to look a bit further back, though, to the Raw League qualifier online. That was BDS defeating them in an overtime. And if you look even further back, they got smashed by Empire in the Pro League on the map. So it's not like this is one of Na'Vi's best maps, but we know how fast things change. Pardon?
One of Citizen's best maps.
Yeah, absolutely. But we know how fast things change, right? We thought Cafe was a playground for Na'Vi, and then that changed. They said it themselves to us. Consulate, maybe in the past they had some rocky ground, but I think things are starting to come back.
It's pro teams. It's all speculation. We see them lose on a map, and we assume that, okay, well, they're bad on that map. If you're actually a good team, you go and you fix your mistakes. You learn way more from losing a map than you do from winning.
And on top of that, right, if you look at DarkZero's side of things, they beat LG and EG on this map during the season. Evil Genius is one of the best teams in North America, and DarkZero beat it. When you're winning against some of the best teams in your region on a map, that doesn't immediately go back to the top of the pile of maps we need to rework, maps we need to improve on. But Na'Vi, right, they lost a really close game to BDS. After that match, I have no doubt that they're thinking, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that, and we got to do this, and then our Consulate is so much stronger. So if there's anyone who behind the scenes has been working on it, it's bound to be Na'Vi, not DarkZero.
Yeah, Gig and Jacques are definitely have their work cut out for them. Of course, their coach and their analyst, Jacques, I don't presume that he is here. This is working all the way from Europe at the moment. But operator bans, let's talk about it. Consulate, what do you do to fix things? We've seen DarkZero ban the Monty very consistently in this tournament. Is this going to be a repeat?
If they ban the Monty, it's more for their own safety, not to have to worry about it potentially being played. But I don't think it's something they're going to be worried about Na'Vi bringing.
What I like to see about DarkZero is the fact that they're not afraid to do those different bans. They're not just going to be all there with the Maestro, Echo, Mira. They like to mix things up. And as a team that has those strat books, it's willing to try what we were talking about in their match against FaZe. They would bring one strat, next round they would win it, next round they would bring something completely different. And so I'm really excited to see what DarkZero have to show for us, because if you're not using your best strats now, when on earth are you going to use them?
They're always using, like, that. Everyone that says they're not using the best strats in final, nah, no way, man. Everything's on the line.
We're keeping them for invitation.
Right, yeah.
We're saving strats for season 11, totally.
Yeah, and you mentioned this, all the teams that are here are already going to 6 Invitational. So if you're a fan of any of the 8s that were here, you're going to see them very, very soon.
If that in any way translates to saving strats, I think these guys want to win this final so damn bad that does matter. We can plan new things for Invitational. But from DC, going into this, a really good ban for them could be Thermite. And then limit what, like, it's a lot harder for Na'Vi to do that thing that they just learned and realized that our after plant kind of sucks.
And that said, DarkZero, one of DarkZero's favorite operator bans is Thermite, and that's not just on one map or another map. So I like the idea there, because Na'Vi are, it's an idea, but DarkZero is going to be pretty comfortable with that. Is that something they're quite familiar with? Okay,
gentlemen, your closing thoughts. We're going to run through this map by map. Consulate, Alex, how do you expect this to go?
Very long, 4th and back. I'm not even going to call a side on that. I have no idea.
I have no idea who's going to win, but Citizen's going to get 24 kills. I'm telling you right now. This is US versus UK. Neither of these teams have ever been in a grand final. The stakes could not be higher. In fact, one thing I want to touch on, DarkZero, The organization, homegrown from Texas, was formed last year on November the 28th. It is almost exactly 1 year. Can you imagine these boys bringing home this trophy as a birthday present for Zach all the way back home to Texas?
That would be pretty insane. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for all of this. If you're watching at home, it's time to get the show on the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, our grand final is about to kick off. Nihon, please give me some of your shouts. DarkZero versus Na'Vi, our grand final. Hajime!
Thank you so much to everybody here in Tokonami. We have a grand finals in front of us, Michael, and it's a tale of two teams. One, the top team in North America, who skated their way, if we're being honest, to 2-0 victories over FaZe and Aerowolf to get to this point, versus a team that had to scrape, bruise, and claw their way to this spot. Two very heartbreaking defeats for their opponents and two well-deserved victories for Na'Vi, 2-1 and 2-1. This is going to be an interesting contrast between these two teams. We've got the best of two regions here fighting off for the title of Pro League champion.
There's a lot on the line, and you really just laid it all out. Thank you for that, Parker. He's absolutely right. This is going to be a really intense battle. We're going to be going into map number 1, Consulate, right off the bat. Just going to jump into this map, which is DarkZero's map pick. This is where they wanted to find themselves. It's where they currently do find themselves. So we'll see if DarkZero are going to be able to turn this straight into a win, or if we're going to be having a nice set of momentum early on for Na'Vi. Whenever you win your enemy's map pick, it's always so advantageous. Ban phase, starting right off the bat. We got Capital and Thermite already gotten rid of. Now Thermite is going to make defending the basement much, much easier in this first map. Capital is going to make defending places like the top of Yellow Stairs a lot easier. He has that uncanny ability to just force defenders to move, whether they like it or not. We'll go into the defensive bans now, and we'll see what we're going to get. Echo to start. Like the Valkyrie or Amira or something along those lines.
I'd imagine it's probably going to be Amira here, but Na'Vi, seeing how Hot and Cold played on Maestro, I wouldn't be too surprised given that it's Consulate for a Maestro ban, and there you have it.
Wow.
So Mira makes it through. Na'Vi likes to play Mira here, so you keep Mira in play. We saw that kind of goofy setup that I think a lot of people would refer to as goofy setup on the Mira, on Garage of Consulate, downstairs. They keep the one soft wall, I guess, for fighting back on. You have somebody play aggressively on that Mira. So Hot and Cold, who has been hot, as you could call him.
From this tournament, yeah.
From this tournament, absolutely. And if DarkZero wins, I would imagine it's going to be because of his performance. That Maestro has been a very crucial operator for DarkZero when it comes to the way that they quarterback the defense, and, well, he's one of the most pivotal and influential anchors that you'll see in this game. Hot and Cold, we're starting on Hibana, though, as there will be a single hard breacher brought to this fracas as we get into round number 1 between Na'Vi and DarkZero. I am so excited, genuinely so excited, to see this matchup get underway. Navi's coming in hot.
He can't reinforce the wall, you can see it on his face. Yeah, I mean, maybe try going to the other side pot. But yes, they are coming in very hot. Warm after their victory, I'm sure.
Does he have it? Is it fixed? Is that the right wall?
You got, I think that's the right wall.
That's the
you can
other
tell because it's the small one.
Yeah, it's
so apparently you can only do it on one side. Anyway, so yes, they're fresh off of their victory in the previous match. They just won, what was it? Like 40 minutes ago because the panel was about 30 minutes long. So yeah, it's pretty immediate here for Navi.
Big ups to the devs, by the way, for the panel, and thank you to Seltzer for joining us for her very first Rainbow Six event.
Parker, they added limb penetration.
I know, Michael. You were overjoyed.
Very excited.
Michael, I retweeted your tweet.
Thank you, Parker.
You're very welcome, Michael.
My excitement didn't bleed through.
I saw it, and he's very excited. I should retweet this tweet.
It's very exciting.
That's what good coworkers do.
Thank you, Parker.
We retweet each other, so keep in mind if you and good friends as well. Both of those things.
Yes.
So retweet your friends.
Now, DarkZero setting up on the roof, trying to apply some pressure to the yellow stairs. There's no Capital, thanks to Navi's ban of that Capital. Would have been a useful tool for DZ here, that's for sure. If you take control of yellow stairs, you can use it as a platform to attack onto the rest of the site. This is what we so commonly see happen. You're also going to have repel on the CEO windows, and that's going to be able to cut off rotation in CEO itself. They use those two locations to crossfire the site, then go in for a plant. Likely using smokes if you have them. In this case, we do have smokes on the side of DarkZero. It's going to be in Hyper's hands.
They gave Citizen the Super Serum, so he's going to be able to fight off multiple challengers on these yellow stairs. And he can also ADS trick if he really wants to. Whether the ADSs are going to be burned out or not, there goes a frag grenade at Citizen. Doesn't matter how much help you have from that stim pistol, a grenade's still going to take you down. Relinquishing control of yellow stairs is Na'Vi, and that's BC with those beautiful frag grenades, doing an excellent job.
BC and frag grenades, name a more iconic duo. They really do get along well, and you know, he doesn't always land them, but when he does, they're oh so important. Getting rid of Citizen at the top of yellow is going to open up a lot of doors, or rather, the yellow stairs for DarkZero.
It's going to be a split take now from DarkZero. Nyx doesn't realize how close he is to dying, but Kendra gets spotted and immediately vacates the premises. Hyper takes out Nello as well. So Navi's down 2. They've got plenty of time to work with. Still over a minute left.
I can't stress how important it is that these early kills are going to be putting Navi in a bit of a corner.
Yeah.
How they play, they're going to have to start restricting themselves, and it gets even worse as BC eliminates Kendrew from the top of the yellow stair skylight.
It's all yellow control, and still a minute to go. Got to push into console office at some point. Hot and Cold has swung on in, looking for coverage as he goes for the diffuser. Hyper's going to spray through. Pi hits the floor. He was very good in the matchup against Reciprocity, but right now Mint in that fight is better. Saves in a 1v5. How about you start off the damn match with a flawless round, DarkZero? All right, we see you. Diffuser down, commit to the objective. Flawless as well, and BCU's had a quiet day. Well, he starts things off quite strong. Set a good tempo, DZ, and ride that one forward. This is your map after all, 1-0 for DarkZero.
That was a pretty intensely one-sided round there. I mean, obviously, flawless round.
Obviously. Well, where do you go next if you're Na'Vi? That's not the start that you want. And one thing that we have seen from Na'Vi so far in this tournament, be it against Wildcard, who they struggled with, which I think surprised many people given Wildcard coming in, not with the most pedigree behind their name.
No.
They were known as Athletico for a period of time, and then they were Orgless as well. Living in the shadow of Fnatic, rightly or wrongly, I think you could say. They really made a name and a statement for themselves here. Well, Na'Vi was still better than them, but it took till the very final seconds of the actual matchup for them to prevail. Same with Reciprocity. Even though there was a blowout on that second map, Na'Vi was able to strike back. And, well, Citizen broke the kill record on Consulate. And then what happens? They still lose the match. It goes into overtime, so he had the full field to play with, 15 rounds. But still, you lose. And Na'Vi won the series. So don't panic, even though Na'Vi loses their own map. This is DarkZero's map. DZ are a proficient Consulate team. You saw in the statistics before we went into the actual game itself that, well, they're 8-1-3 before this tournament started. And they managed to dust FaZe by a score of 7-4. No slouch here. They didn't play it against Airwolf. So there's not a ton of information as of late.
Yeah, no, well, it's recent information is, of course, at a premium when it comes to maps and results in Rainbow Six Siege, because you see those. Though not only the way that the teams play any map or the teams play operators change so frequently, but just in general, the game changes frequently. You'll have, from patch to patch, so many things move that are going to force people to adapt their playstyle. No reinforcement, I think, on that second wall, and that mark actually might be an easy kill. It's not, no, it's not reinforced, and that's gonna be, an easy kill for Nello. I actually have no idea why Nello didn't move after the first magazine from BC. But he didn't, and now Mint also will find Pi, which means DarkZero 1 round up and 2 players up in this round. It's looking really bad for Na'Vi. They're not giving a whole lot of fight back right now.
Na'Vi's been making a lot of, I would say, boneheaded mistakes in their matchups against Wildcard and Reciprocity. And I'm not going to mince words with Na'Vi because I think they're a team that is exceptionally talented with tons of potential, but I don't know if that potential has been realized here. It is worth noting that Pi stepped onto this roster because Doki is not in play. Not able to play, rather, for the next 5-6 months, somewhere in that window. Hyper sprays down Kendra before he gets taken down. Will there be an opportunity for Saves to push up and secure the kill? Not yet, at least. To his rescue will come Nyx, and down goes Mint as well from Citizen. Once Citizen wakes up and starts to fire on all cylinders, well, this match can turn on a dime.
Look at the time. There's a whole minute for these last 4 players to set up perfectly to take these last 2 players on Na'Vi.
Nyx is on yellow stairs after reviving Hyper. And Nyx has been an exceptionally good entry. BC having some issues with its sledge to connect onto Saves down below. All right, so what do? Well, you give Nyx a chance to push up himself. He's gonna tussle with the smoke, but lose to Saves. That's a shot that the SMG-11 can just tear right on through. It hits the head onto Nyx. That's a problem for DarkZero. They're all very low on HP, and they've got toxic canisters from Saves to deal with. They're only a few ticks away from death with 40 seconds left for them to pull this off. Knowing there's going to be a flank coming from the full HP of Citizen, Hyper is dedicated to flank watch. It's going to put a 2v1 onto the site. Hot and Cold will need to go for a plant at some point, but Citizen wins the fight against BC. There's Saves, and Hyper, he's been so good, but he's going to have to win a 1v2. He'll start off by taking down the smoke, but he has to figure out the location. The Hunter versus the Hunter. Jackal and Jaeger in a duel to the death. Hyper sees him, but no, the wrong angle. Citizen is down below. He's excited. Na'Vi end up bailing themselves out of that one, and they'll tie the game 1-1.
You could see the lack of the disbelief on Na'Vi's faces right now.
Right.
And rightfully so. That round was over for a good moment. DarkZero had a lot more control than Na'Vi. They had vertical control, they had manpower advantage, they had so much time, as I noted, and still 2 players on Na'Vi seemed to be enough to take care of 4 on DarkZero in that round. That's pretty surprising to be honest. And you know, you're talking about Na'Vi's boneheaded mistakes. The positioning of some of the Na'Vi players to catch them or to get themselves picked off is a great example of that. But it didn't matter in the end because Citizen and Saves worked so well together. So it's all right, I guess, to make a few mistakes early in the round if you could bail yourselves out later. If you've got that individual talent to do that. That's exactly what Na'Vi has shown us in that last round.
There's a lot for DarkZero to learn, knowing that they could sit back and watch that Na'Vi matchup, and they will obviously be aided from the fact that they had a wealth of time to prepare. DarkZero is notorious for preparing for these events. We've talked about it and touched on it many, many times, Michael. Yeah. Meticulous, some would say, with how they counter, ban, and prep for all of their different opponents. Thorough is a very good word for it.
Yeah.
Reciprocity were not a match for Na'Vi, but this is a different playstyle than what DarkZero brings. Despite the fact that 2 teams come from the same region, you couldn't find 2 teams that play very separately. Reciprocity gave Na'Vi a good run, and Consulate, being one of the maps that Na'Vi lost, means that DarkZero has some footage to go over. I wonder how much of the fact that Na'Vi played recently will put, I guess, a curveball into this matchup. Na'Vi are prepared, they're hot, they've been practicing, they're ready. Just something to keep in the back of your mind as to whether or not there is an actual belief system that because they played recently that they are warmed up, so to speak.
Yeah. Now,
garage, I was going to say, it's a garage defense, I believe, Michael.
Yeah, we've only got 1 hard destructor here from DarkZero. It's going to be a drop-down take. You can tell by the way that they're setting themselves up right now. They're going to be clearing up from the top to the bottom. And they're going to open up from above, too. They got the Sledge and the Jackal to open up from above. No breaching charges on the Ash, but you can still use those Ash charges if you want to be precise with them. You could also push Houghton outside, and I think he is even outside right now. Oh, wow. Pi has made his way upstairs. This wasn't droned and wasn't cleared out. Hyper gets the refrag, but it doesn't matter. The fact that Pi was able to get anything out of that is negligence on the side of DZ and a lack of drone control. That I'd say that most of us are not used to seeing from DZ. They are usually, again, the word we'd use is thorough. But that is an example of a serious mistake, a serious blunder on DarkZero's side. Now, they've got control of the top floor and the middle floor, and they're going to be able to turn that into some pressure from above. They'll start opening up these floors, you know, standard stuff. I'm sure none of you, if you've ever watched DarkZero Esports, are surprised, but what we're about to see from BC and the rest of DZ. And then once they've got those holes opened up, you can open up the garage using your Hibana if you should choose to do that, or you can open up the drop downs. Really just depends on what you feel is best, given what your enemy's doing.
Just stay very mobile when you're breaking up the floor inside a piano. Why? Well, C4s tend to be the #1 cause of death and injury associated with this setup. Now, this is fascinating. This impact trick that Nello just tried to do worked so successfully against exothermic charges, but, well, didn't work at all against the X-Kairos that was just utilized. And now Nello is down for the count, so you don't have to worry about that force that was hanging out by the garage door. First frag of the day on this matchup is going to go to DZ, but they botched the X-Kairos, so they're not going to be able to walk in. There's that thin line in the middle. You might be able to take care of that, but the X-Kairos are going to be able to get shot off. That's going to give Na'Vi a little bit of breathing room as, you know, they, well, they're a 4v3. My apologies, I said that DarkZero had the opening frag. They don't, Na'Vi does. So it's going to have to be a push in through the back. Kendra exposes himself, hyper-guns him down, and they have control from the back end of the site. But it's Citizen who pushes on out himself. A team kill from BC, and DarkZero are in trouble, and this, the timer hits 0. Na'Vi are very happy. Citizen elated, and Na'Vi is the very first lead of our matchup.
A little bit of a choke there from DarkZero. The thing is, you just gotta hope, if you're a DarkZero fan, you gotta hope if you're DarkZero that that's not going to cascade into future failures.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let that get to your head and make those kinds of mistakes moving forward. What kind of mistakes am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you. So through that round, okay, only Hibana brought. Why? Because Thermite is banned. Who banned it though? DarkZero banned it. So what does that mean? Why am I saying that? Well, if DarkZero bans Thermite, they're attacking the basement, they've only got Hibana, then they need to have, oh, there's the team kill. Okay, that's understandable. That's, you can't blame that on BC. So that's, I don't think that's gonna get to him because that's not his fault. Anyway, moving on. You need to have a really refined strategy if you're gonna be banning Thermite on it when you're attacking the bottom floor there. You need to know what you're getting yourself into. That's why you ban the operator, so that you can cripple your enemy and have the advantage yourself. But it didn't really seem like the strategy from the attack there of DarkZero was all that refined. They started pushing it at what, 15 seconds, 10 seconds left in the round?
Yeah, it was very late.
That is
very late.
Exceptionally late. And they didn't have more access points than the typical bottlenecks. So I don't know what happened there with those pests. So the point I'm trying to get at here is that that is an example of a little bit of an oversight from DarkZero. They're going to need to work on that if they want to have success the next time they have to attack on the bottom floor. But that'll, if it ever happens, it'll be the last round of this first half.
This is a Teller's Archives defense, for the record. So through 4 rounds, Na'Vi has now defended every single bomb site on this map. Not unusual, but they're going to get a big early pick as the peskiness of Kendrew, as he's the pest himself. He'll take down Hyper, and now they might grab a Twitch drone for their trouble through that barricade towards Visa. This is a opportunity ripe with success for BC if he could just get a proper read on the castle, but for the time being, he can't quite see it.
A nade would do it. If he can land this, oh no.
BC knows it's a tight angle and it's going to have to be a tough one. He can repel on in, but he knows that he's in for a world of hurt.
He got the ADS.
The ADS goes, and Nello knows that he's going to need to back up at some point, but do you want to take that engagement? Especially now against an upside-down repel from BC. Not exactly what you want to do. Back onto Cams, the castle will go. Grenade goes in, sails, and completely misses its target with Pi down below as well. So Navi's got excellent coverage on all 3 floors, presumably, at least on the second and first. You know that with this site, they are going to need to have presence inside of the open area. Down goes the castle. BC finds him, and Admin is fully in control for BC if he wants to go on it.
The persistence there from BC is just incredible. You have to really appreciate it as a spectator. And that's going to be an answer back to the pick that happened on Hyper earlier in the round.
Now repelling in, knowing that you've got Admin open up, and you've also got Visa that you can walk on in through. This is a very tough site to fight back from when you've lost it. Retake potential is very minimal because the plant will usually happen on the first floor, and the defenders will have to come up the stairs over towards Visa. he'll be extremely exposed at that period of time. BC's got hatch control, he sees the castle barricades, but he's already used both of his frag grenades, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge for him to be able to open them up. It's going to rely on somebody else getting close. There's Mint with the G8. He's going to take down Citizen, say goodbye to one of the best players in this entire lobby. 40 seconds left. Na'Vi trailing. They got the opening pick, but DarkZero have so far been able to turn it around.
Pi is going to be such an important player here as he holds on to the site, doing his best. Kendrew, though, getting his second kill in the round as BC is gone. DarkZero lose a little bit of momentum in this round, but Nyx is trying to fight it back. Saves, doing a great job from the Visa staircase, and Kendrew is right on his shoulder. There's a player coming down Banana right now on the attacking side. If he wins this fight, it'll be big. That's Mint trying to cover for the plant, and he's doing just that by distracting, allowing for Nyx to put this into a post plant. Mint even got out of that unscathed. Impressive. Kendrew trying to retake the site while Saves fights the player off-site. Nyx, though, will shut down Kendrew, leaving just Saved. Saves, rather. He's behind between a rock and a hard place, though, as he's got one enemy on each side of him, and he has to retake his own site. It doesn't seem very likely, but he's managed to work his way over to the Visa stairs, which is a decent position to do this from. Seems he's been spotted out, though, and he's being flanked by Mint. There's no time for Saves to actually linger, and he's going to rush into his death. A nice win there from DZ, and they'll put another round on the board.
Very well played by them.
Yes.
Very, very well played. That's the problem with this site. By the time that you, Na'Vi, had fought your way down to even numbers, both of your remaining players were down in the basement, and you have to go up one staircase, which is very easy to be watched. So it necessitates you moving over to another staircase, be it the spiral stairs or be it yellow stairs, which you can usually have the last remaining member of your opposing team just watch in that direction. It's very challenging. So this one is fascinating. There's no hard breach right now on the board for DarkZero. They're going to go after Consulate without it. That is something that we have seen a couple times, but not all that often. I think one of the most noteworthy occasions was when you had Young playing off of the role of hard breacher, and it was a garage defense for, I can't remember which team they were playing against, and it was just a rush through Visa. Not sure I always agree. Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. We've seen Consulate without hard breachers before, but it's just, it's a rarity.
We've seen rushes like that before too. That's a common one, I guess. And I'm not gonna say common. Rushes in of themselves are not common. But
10 seconds to insertion.
Oh, I mean, they sure were common if you watch that Aerowolf DarkZero match.
Oh yeah, Aerowolf anybody match really.
Yeah.
Aerowolf Giants match,
correct.
Same thing. Oh man, that was Aerowolf gave a great performance for this tournament, but they're not here.
They played really well, and I think the big thing, if we can just speak to both Wildcard, who went toe-to-toe with Na'Vi, and I think are a much better team for it, and Aerowolf, who went toe-to-toe with DarkZero, and then before that humbled the Giants. You can see that APAC is a lot deeper than just one or two teams.
Yeah. Lobby has been Navi's strongest site on Consulate. Look at that. You know, that stands to reason. I mean, remember the middle floor defense we just saw from Na'Vi in the second round?
Yes.
That was a 2 versus 4 comeback, guys, in the favor of Na'Vi. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And they really do seem comfortable there. Now, Pi's actually going to get the first kill there, but it's answered back by Mint. That was over by the yellow stairs, it seems. Or no, somewhere else entirely. I'm not certain, but what I am certain of is that it was outside aggression, as you could see. So a run out there from Pi, and I mean, he got something out of it. He got the twitch. He got hot and cold. It was going to be cold for the moment, and that's important because he's been so hot through this tournament, as we like to say.
Very cold. So is Citizen, to be fair. So you've got two very high-end performers from both of these teams that have gone quiet. You've had good performances, though, from Kendrew, and you've had a good performance from BC so far.
Did he miss the nade?
He might have. That one doesn't miss.
But it doesn't do enough damage, because the overheal, he used his stim earlier to dodge the nade. And, well, not dodge, but just live through it. And they're using Ash charges on him now.
They should be able to get him. There he goes. Careening through the sky, an airborne Nello as Nyx utilizes that utility in a way that you're not accustomed to seeing.
Using the tools at his disposal. Impressive stuff there from not only Nyx, but DZ. The shot call there, the right one.
That burned through a lot of time, a lot of utility, though, and it's a lobby defense.
Oh, that's true.
Keep that in mind.
It's the best site for Na'Vi. They've proven that before, and even in this match, and statistically, it holds true. Kendrew's even on the roam, and he's got a lot of versatility here because he can open the drop and rotate downstairs if he's feeling pressured. So if they hunt him, it'll be just a tremendous waste of time.
He's going to work in tandem with Citizen as some feet are scanned by DarkZero. They still have an advantage that they're going to need to continue onward with, and that's Nyx finding his second kill onto saves. Kendra is being tracked, but Citizen hasn't been spotted inside of this cubby by Lobby. Plant going down for Mint. At some point, you're going to have to move, gentlemen, but nobody is, and that'll be a successful diffuser for DarkZero, second round in a row. Citizen creeping on up, tiptoeing around the corner. There's a drone that might be in his line of sight. He sees the Ash, takes some damage in the process, finds one, Kendrew another, and it's a 2v2 all of a sudden. The advantage on DarkZero ripped away from them, but they still have the objective down. Kendrew hunting the player above, doesn't see BC, and he's gonna get crossed on over. Citizen is going to be at the mercy of the clock as he finds BC, can't do enough damage, hits him on the Achilles heel. BC immediately drops. Citizen might be able to get this kill, he'll get it, but look at the clock, he knows he's out of time, even if he drops, it's all over. All Mint needs to do is get the low impact frag, and unfortunately for Citizen, it's just another day at the office for those that play up against DarkZero. DZ regains the lead.
The focus on the objective there from DarkZero, really impressive. We almost saw another miracle for Na'Vi like we did in that second round, but not quite, not quite. And mostly it comes down to the fact that they were a little bit slower on the uptake. On the retake, I should say, as when they started pushing, it was already about pushing to retake their own site. It was already about, I would say, a quarter of the diffuser gone at that point. So that's a little bit late. Yeah, you need to be, I think, going a little bit faster there if you're going to have success on a retake post-plant. The Ash charge usage here, wow, just, that's so fun to watch. They knew he was there, they knew they needed to get rid of the problem, and they did everything in their power to do so. Now, BC doing a great job upstairs too. Just in general.
The way you said that made it sound like, yeah, BC's there too. It's like, it's just an amendment, just like, he's there.
You know, if we're gonna bring up BC, we may as well talk about how the man is a tremendous leader for the squad.
Biggest brain.
The big brain.
And when people say galaxy brain, they usually mean like idiots. Like, oh, that's a galaxy brain take. Like, oh, you're not.
Okay, I don't get that meme one.
But BC is like, he's a big brain player.
He's actually like a really smart guy, and he leads this squad in a way that I think no other could.
Now, one thing worth noting, there is no Mira ban, and yet the way that this garage setup is being played by Na'Vi is totally different from what we just saw in Reciprocity. So whether it be because of Gig, their coach, or whether it be the team itself, Na'Vi have decided that, hey, if we're going to show anything in our matchup against Reciprocity, we ought to do something maybe a little bit different. And that's good depth. That's great depth. You know that you can get away with doing other strategies here.
Just realized that I guess if I don't know the big brain meme, then I am a galaxy brain.
No, you're a smooth brain.
Smooth brain?
Smooth brain.
Doesn't that mean the same thing though? Like,
no, because a galaxy brain are like, you make fun of people who like think that their brains are big, but then like smooth brain, the smoother your brain,
okay,
the less.
Citizen, first kill on a Mint.
Not smooth brain.
Not a smooth brain.
No, very
impressive player.
Very impressive player. Pre-play C4 there as well as he's trying to open up the floor just so you can see somebody walk on by. And well, it's Mint that's gone. Opening frag going to Na'Vi for the 4th round in a row. We know how much and how important and pivotal that can be.
That pre-play C4 has not been prodded at just yet. They did make a hole where the C4 was, by the way, and that is going to actually allow the sound from the C4 to propagate through the hole. But
possibly, if you can hear it. If you can hear it.
Yeah. It might have been destroyed, actually, because I believe it was placed.
It was placed by the Visa stairs.
Yeah, in coffin, is as we like to call it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's been detonated yet, but there have been DarkZero players stepping over it. And you got to imagine there's a camera watching that location. So either the camera was shot or the C4 was shot. But either way, DarkZero have moved past that problem. They've got top floor control, they've got middle floor control, and they're going to start opening up from above, applying pressure to those defenders underneath them. It's going to be a drop-down take primarily this time.
Gonna take care of the hatches, open up some of the bathroom as well so that you can open up the bathroom hatch. And why is that? So you can have somebody sit here. Really nice. You saw Hot and Cold check to make sure that there were 4 of those ex-Kairos, but...
What?
What? Was that an impact?
It could have been?
It must have been from Nello.
It could have been. Maybe, yeah, because there's soft destruction next to the drop down, isn't there? Like, and if the wall was opened up already.
I'm honestly not sure what happened.
We didn't catch it.
We're not experts. We did not see from their perspective and exactly why it blew up. But that's a major detriment to DarkZero. You see the Legion of Kendrew's been pushed back inside of server, and Hyper's not too far off himself of the cafeteria, and he'll walk into the staff area, or as you want to call it. Inside a small office, he'll shoot down a portion of the wall. There goes a Valkyrie camera, so some information that would be helpful for Navi is now gone. It's an engagement in hot and cold and Nello, and while they're going to trade blows, and who wins the argument, I'm not entirely sure. Kendrew wasting time, and that's the biggest issue for DarkZero right now. Look at the clock. BC gets one, traded off by Pi. Kendrew adds to it, pistol out. Citizens in there, gun down as BC gets the kill, but 1 second left. You don't have the diffuser. Navi's going to win on time. They've done it so many times already. I think they've actually won every single round on time so far. It'll be a draw between these teams in the first half. We'll swap sides.
You know, the really crazy thing is that DarkZero are not known as an inefficient team.
No, not at all.
They're usually... You
said meticulous.
Meticulous, thorough, well thought out. There's a lot of words used to describe DarkZero. Efficient is another word I would typically use. However, this map, not so on attack. And you know, that might change now. We're going into the second round, or second half, I should say. No, second round. Ha ha ha. We're going into the second half here, and I think it's possible DarkZero will be able to turn this into a much better position for them than a 33 scoreline would suggest. It could be the other way around, though. It could be that that Navi are really comfortable on attack. This is DarkZero's map pick, so it's kind of pressure on them. Of course, we talked about how at this level, and with the 7-map map pool, you know, most teams are well-practiced, well-versed in all maps. Something has been discussed at length.
I speculate, by the way, what happened was that Nello must have used one of the sledge holes that was opened up, or a pre-placed hole to impact trick the bathroom. Yeah, right,
I thought it was
right where hot and cold was just standing.
Because you've got a little hole. So you've got soft destruction in piano, and you've got a wall open. And it had been opened up by DarkZero, I believe. And so you can see that you can hit the drop down from there. And that's what I think happened too. Now going into this round, DarkZero seem to be setting up for a bottom floor defense. They've got a Mira in the bathroom. The second Mira in security, as it usually goes into security. And when you bring it on this site, Navi are setting up to clear the top floor and go down. You can tell they've set up 3 players on an office, so they'll just clear out upstairs. Then they'll clear out the middle floor, and then they'll hit the site. Now the thing is, clearing out the middle floor for Navi is actually going to be really hard in this round, and the reason is that bathroom roam that is supported by a Mira window. That'll be really relevant for DarkZero. We've seen that roam being brought out actually a lot during this tournament, and it hasn't seen success too frequently. Usually doesn't get a lot of kills, whoever's playing there, but what it does do is delay for 20-30 seconds minimum, and often for upwards of a minute.
DarkZero is running very different tools in very different ways on Garage than we saw from Navi at all in the first half, even though there were only 2 Garage defenses. There goes a drone to the mute jammer of Nyx. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually elevate the mute jammers and then it works through the floor on Consulate. I think it's always a good time to remind them that, yeah, if the mute jammer is above the ground, it is a sphere of influence. It's not just one way. It actually has a height and floor to it. Mute jammer spotted, taken out, and that should free up the drone that was being used. Citizen sees the other Mira being spotted as well in the small office, so he can push up at some time.
He's just going to creep on down Banana.
There's nothing that's going to stop him. There's no Kaid that's in play. He finds one! Citizen can't connect the second. Hyper just outduels him, but loses 50 HP in the process.
It was a really good save there from Hyper. If that had been 2 for Navi, the round probably would have been over, and he managed to refrag his teammate as well. So props to Hyper for that. Citizen missing a few crucial shots there in his spray. Kendrew trying to creep down Banana as well. He's got the support of Pi, who was just dropped into electrical, and Kendrew's actually getting Hyper saves, adds to that, eliminating BC inside of the kitchen, and a push-up from Nyx is shut down. It's just mint all of a sudden. He will get 1, sees the second, and the third. Shot landed, that's a low HP Hibana, and he's now down, but there's still no ammo left, and there you go. Pi will win it. Mint restricted by his kit. And Navi take another round. The first round of the second half as well.
That's just, you said it, restricted by his kit. Whenever Kaid comes up, we always talk about how influential he can be in terms of utility, but he doesn't really have guns that are great at engaging multiple enemies. The AUG can be okay, but a lot of people run the shotgun because it has an ACOG on it. It can down people in one shot.
It's really good. It's just the problem with the shotgun is it's low count in ammunition.
Yeah.
And that was highlighted there by Mint there. You got it. The way he was aiming, the way he was playing, I almost feel like if he had like an Alda, for example, or Jaeger's Carbine, he might have had a good chance of winning that. Now, bottom four didn't work out so great for DarkZero, so they're going to try Teller's Archives. See if this one is the site for them.
I do appreciate that this site has had a bit more time in the sun, so to speak.
I agree.
It takes some innovation usually to be able to pull off. We don't see it all that frequently.
It's nice.
It made its debut sometime around DreamHack Montreal, if I remember correctly. I think the first team to pull it out was the Giants Gaming Squad. They obviously weren't known at the time by that name, but I mean, that was a very innovative squad themselves. We've touched on that many times, and even though they don't have the results here as DarkZero, I think both of those teams share an awful lot of similarities.
Yeah, to an extent. DarkZero is one of those teams that makes a lot of newer strategies. They bring a lot of newer stuff to their region as well. Like, for example, there was a lot of really interesting strategies that LATAM were bringing in the early days of Rainbow Six Pro League. And not many teams in Europe and North America were adapting those Latin American thought processes or strategies into their own playbook. Way back in the day, DarkZero, when they were known by a different name, did that in abundance. They would look to every corner they could to find new stuff.
I mean, when Clubhouse wasn't the Clubhouse that it is now, how about the cash defense, the fabled cash defense?
They defined that.
I think you could say that they flipped the sides on their head.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, DarkZero are pioneers.
Yes.
That's the word. Now Na'Vi are some absolutely insane players though, because they're winning against these pioneers.
I would say that they're honestly an equally creative squad with the way that Na'Vi have approached a lot of these sites. We're seeing a very different Consulate on a number of takes.
Yeah.
Well, defenses rather, because there's only been one actual execute pulled off by Na'Vi so far. That really just speaks to their versatility as well. So praise needs to be given to both of the squads here for that.
I mean, Na'Vi are winning again. Like as much as DarkZero are incredible at some things that they do, right now they're losing. So they need to start picking it up. They've got a player poised to run in through yellow stairs here. That's Na'Vi, I mean, it's
Teller's Archives. If you can sneak in through garage and get the all clear, you can begin to head towards the double doors.
Do a lot of work from there.
Yeah, you'll be in a great position. And I mean, it's Citizen who's primed and ready to do that. That's a dangerous player to find themselves in those circumstances. He's done just that. He's inside a garage. I think his teammate must have said that it was free real estate for him to be able to go in. So now he can push through the staff area. He's doing some caliber-based destruction as he's got his teammates not too far off. Citizen's job will be to tackle the archive section while the rest of them bang on the Teller's doors. And while Kendrew and Nello are both inside of the site. Can we see a plant go down? Nello takes a lot of damage. Citizen guns down hot and cold, traded off. Nello's there. He literally trades with Nyx. 40 seconds left, and Saves is going to try to protect Kendrew as best as he can, as there's a C4 likely waiting below. But Pi above has so much power being on that second floor. Saves sees the barricade destroyed in front of him. He knows something's coming, but down he goes as Hyper walks in. There's a grenade there waiting for him, but it's Pi above, and now BC in a 1v2. Diffuser down successfully, so it all worked out for Na'Vi. It's chaos. Absolute, unfettered chaos. BC will need to retake in a very challenging position. He's got an opening on Visa stairs. He'll have to tear down the castle barricade. His position given away and spotted on a drone as well. He is in a hopeless position through the castle barricade, but he's actually just been helped out. That castle barricade being opened up may allow him to move on in, but he's spotted and he's a sitting duck. As the newest addition and the temporary stand-in to Na'Vi will go undercover, and Pi will stretch the lead for Na'Vi.
Wow, what a big round from Pi, but also just in general, the attack strategy from Na'Vi was so intricate, yet so robust, and that is a combination that is abnormal, to say the least, within Siege strategy. So what we saw there from Na'Vi was multiple different layers of an attack strategy. They were trying to come in downstairs, and the reason they did that was to disrupt DarkZero in terms of their C4 or their, here it is, it's Citizen. He came in downstairs to disrupt DarkZero as a solo player to try and deny any kind of C4 from below to allow for and facilitate the plant. Hyper, some bad target prioritization, I suppose, but he might have actually not even got past the first one had he not shot the guy who was covering. So, you know, it happens. Anyway, that's the one player coming in from the main garage to disrupt DarkZero. Job done. Great job to Citizen. Meanwhile, the rest of Na'Vi are setting up above and trying to go into the site for a plant, going for the drop and just vaulting in through the teller's window. Beautiful attack strategy there from Na'Vi because they had cover from Citizen downstairs. They had cover from players with the planter in the site, and the one little cherry on top was the player, the Buck, at the top floor who opened up above, saw through 2 different floors, and could cover everything from his position.
And that was Pi.
Yep.
That was the newest member on this team who's filling in for Doki, at least for the foreseeable future. Doki, you best be worried with the way that Pi is playing. He's coming.
I bet.
He's coming for your spot, Doki.
Yeah.
But no, they're in sight. What is going on? Pi yet again is just in the middle of the site. It's a lobby take, and the plant is going down 30 seconds in, wreaking havoc, and he'll trounce Mitt. Mitt absolutely knocked on his ass, and it's a successful diffuser going down. This is Na'Vi going for the throat. Saves will do some damage with the Hibana on Repel. It's a 4v2. Down goes the Pulse on the hot and cold diffuser from Nyx. Kendra needs to make sure that he gets it. Perfect coverage. Flash is going off. Hyper is overhealed, but nobody from DZ knows where they are. There's Kendra. It was a 4v2 that favored DZ, but it's now about to be a 2v0 match point for the European squad.
Na'Vi on an absolute tear. 4 rounds in a row. The defense for DarkZero faltering, causing a lot of seams to pop open, and it seems like DarkZero cannot make anything happen on this half. That's 3 different sites that DZ have tried and failed to defend. Na'Vi look unstoppable right now. Now, there could be a moment where DarkZero begin the comeback, but it just doesn't seem likely, especially when you have things like that. Okay, the plant went down under the purview, under the vigilance of a Valkyrie cam. There were defenders above the plant when it happened. There were players next to the plant when it happened in the adjacent rooms. DarkZero need to be more attentive to their site, more vigilant to these rushes that are being brought out from Na'Vi, or this is just gonna keep happening.
Need we remind you that this is DarkZero's map choice here on Consulate, so this is troubling territory for DZ. Na'Vi mentioned that they are just a team that likes to lose their own map pick. Well, if that happens, should they win on Consulate, then that sets us up for Border as the 3rd map. But right now, Coastline is on the docket next, and Na'Vi will have their own map to possibly earn the championship. That's a hell of a feat when you think about the fact that this team wasn't necessarily guaranteed a spot here in Tokonami. They grinded for it. They got knocked, I guess, off kilter by losing Doki for, what was it, 2 or 3 matches. They picked up Pi, not seemingly out of obscurity, but a player who had been dropped by his own team in the UK Premiership, which caused Leon Gids, actually, from Team Secret, who isn't so great. Are you kidding me? But anyway, Leon Gids came out and said, imagine dropping your best player to the team that dropped him, and now Pi is proving himself to not just be serviceable, but also an extraordinary asset against Reciprocity, against Wildcard, and now showing up against DarkZero. And Na'Vi have an opportunity to take the championship after all of that. They could have faltered and not even made it to Japan, and here we are.
So in case you just missed it, that Electric Claw from Mint actually just saved the day, because there's no Excaros left on the Hibana of Kendra. He can't open it up. It's just not gonna happen. There's a little murder hole that he can use to kill players in sight, but there's no entry point from the garage, which means the Na'Vi have to rethink their whole strategy. Now, what's really important is that Na'Vi have 2 whole minutes to do so. That's plenty of room to breathe if you're the attacking team, so they don't need to stress themselves out by overthinking it. But they are going to need to take care of the player inside a bathroom if they want to have any hope of actually applying pressure to the site vertically. That's going to be Nyx playing in there as the mute with the shotgun. Now, a set of Excaros here would be really big because you can open up a wall and pressure the mute, but this single wall is left unreinforced because you have to put those reinforcements elsewhere. And that's going to mean that Nyx is going to start feeling pressure from the soft destruction that will open it up. As well, Pi is opening up underneath the mirror window in the bathroom, which means that it can't be utilized by Nyx because his feet will be shot and he'll probably lose that fight. It's actually a disadvantage to use a mirror window if you can see underneath it, because then you can't shoot as a defender, but you can't shoot as an attacker. There it is.
Oh, the bearing 9 is just so hard to control. Pi will open things up. He is just continuing to get better and better. Saves gun down by Hot and Cold. That was a fight that we could have seen coming based upon the silhouettes, and Hot and Cold immediately heads up to the second floor as he's going to do a lap around the entire map. There's Mint putting an action on Nikendra to try and keep this one close. There's still a lot to recover here if you're Na'Vi, but right now DarkZero are in the driver's seat. 30 seconds left in the round, and Citizens at the bottom of Visa stairs. He's gonna get shot from 2 angles, gunned down. And in front of the van, the plant going off, but there's coverage from Nello. He sees one, Pi needs to be able to get this diffuser down and will do so, but where's he gonna go? He's trapped. That garage is his tomb. This is 3 rounds in a row with a successful diffuser being planted, and Nello will need to clutch if he wants his team to be able to make this work. There's too many angles for him to cover. This is going to be extremely challenging. He won't get past Hyper. BC will get the defuse, and DarkZero will stay alive for the time being. Still match point for Na'Vi, and they'll ride that all the way to overtime should we need it.
For the time being, indeed, as it's so close to victory. All Na'Vi need to do is get one more round, and that's the very first successful defense from DZ, and as DZ does, in their typical fashion, they will use a tactical timeout only after a round victory. I wonder if I've shot theories at the thought process behind bringing tactical timeouts after a win and only a win. You know, one of them is you win a round, then you do a tactical timeout, you can set up your strategy for the next round, and then you give yourself a better odds of actually winning the next round. So you can set up a streak, and that can, you know, kind of build up momentum and turn into more. Another one could be that if you're not able to start winning rounds when you're on a losing streak, then a tactical timeout might not actually save you from that. And truth be told, most of the time when a team is losing, and they're losing rapidly and continuously, like we have been seeing DZ do in most of these rounds, when a team uses a tactical timeout to try and stop that, it often doesn't result in a bounce back, like a miraculous, oh, we're gonna start winning now. We usually see a new unique strategy brought out after the tactical timeout, something really interesting, and you always want to dissect it. But I find myself often saying, well, that's really cool, but they lost, so yeah. And yeah, I like the thought process for DarkZero. I like that. It's neat. We'll see if it gets them 2 rounds in a row. That's what they'll need if they want to push this to OT.
So I wonder if Siege GG is going to have a stat on this, but I keep track of this kind of stuff on my own, so I can just tell you right now. DarkZero, if my numbers may be off, but DarkZero has played 4 maps so far. Yeah. They took a tactical timeout 3 times. Okay. And they immediately won the round after, as well as the round after that.
Right.
Every single time. Now,
I like the DZ thought process.
So every single time DZ has taken a tactical timeout, they have won the round that happened right after and the round after that. What this would mean is that you win this and then you win the next, DarkZero pushes overtime, if that trend line continues.
And that's why I like the DZ one, because again, usually when you're taking it and you're just losing, then you tactical timeout, and then you expect to win right after, right? It happens sometimes, but more often than not, for most teams, it doesn't. So I like that DZ do it the way that they do it. I think that's really cool. And if you're winning 2 rounds after your tactical timeout, that's 3 in a row if you're DZ, because they always do it after a win. It's really neat. Anyway, we're talking about Pioneers. There's another little thing that DZ does that...
Pioneers?
Yes.
His name is Pi.
His name is Pi.
Pioneers.
He is called Pi. That's another thing DZ does that not a lot of teams do. And yes, Pi has been having a good match, as has most of the players on Na'Vi. Hyper really stepping up for his team, as is BC. Look at that. Look at the kill disparity between the top and the bottom of DZ right now. When you compare it to Na'Vi. What do you notice? I notice how much lower the kills are on Na'Vi. And why? They're playing the objective so focusedly.
Also, Hot and Cold has fallen off of his stellar performance through the first 2 matches that you saw DarkZero play. The quarterfinals and the semifinals were, I think, a great display of Hot and Cold proving himself as a stellar anchor and support player. He's been quiet on Consulate. If he picks it up, DarkZero could find the rest of their team's fortunes continue to rise.
Yeah.
Looks like Mint actually should have taken some damage from that, but he shrugs off the grenade that's thrown onto the top of Yellow Stairs. Mint guns down Kendrew, though, so the smoke is doing a great job of just persevering, and your singular hard breacher for Na'Vi is now gone.
There's also a dock, which means the damage that Mint has just suffered can be healed up if DarkZero so chooses. They're going to have to position Hyper so that he can actually do that. It's not necessarily easy when Mint is at the top of Yellow Stairs and there's a reinforced wall to the bathroom. You can see they reinforced that wall because they're worried about Pi on this bathroom rappel. Pi can do a lot from here. What? Nello's planting! He's in CEO! Where's the denial? DarkZero, you need to play on your site! Na'Vi a plant in a 4 versus 5, and the guns are gonna start coming alive here for both teams in the post plant as DarkZero realize their mistakes. Pi will shut down Nyx and another from that bathroom rappel. And that's going to be a 3rd there for Pi. Mint answers with a quad kill. Oh boy, Pi and Mint both absolutely insane, but no reload from Mint. He needed to be patient and he rushed it. He jumped the gun and now the opportunity is missed, but another presents itself. There might not be time though as Mint goes back to the site. He certainly won't be able to disable the diffuser. What a round from Na'Vi. What a try from Mint. An ace on a loss. And Na'Vi win map number 1.
I don't even have words for that one, Michael. I don't even have any words at all. Mint, the single heroics, and yet his heart broken by the timer, and that's... I don't even know what you call that one. One of the best goddamn plays I've seen from any player, period, and Mint on that retake played almost perfectly, except for the clock.
Could you imagine if his reload had finalized? Because it didn't. His first reload didn't finish.
There are people who can speak words better than us right now. I sure as God hope so. Those are the analysts. Please take us through that frenzy at the end.
An absolute frenzy, and yet again, a 5-man push from Na'Vi onto a site. DarkZero, the theme of this match so far, unable to find an opening, allowing them to dominate Na'Vi in the round. Something that DarkZero were so good at doing in the previous matches. Right now, Na'Vi, for the first time this tournament, they have a 1-map lead starting off the start.
It's terrifying to see them start winning the 1-map because so far they've needed that 1-map to kind of wake up and warm up. And then, like, that last round, man, an ace and then into a loss, that was so close. If he just had a couple more seconds, it would have looked like completely different.
Every now and then, if we're really lucky, we have a really good play. We get to use that coveted term, ace clutch. How often do you get to use the term ace without clutch in it? Because that was an ace, and they lost the round. An insane play, and not just from Mint, but also from Pi, who single-handedly delayed enough time and got the majority of the frags for his team as well. It was a team effort to get that diffuser down. The post-plant struggle. Absolutely through and through, the entire series and the entire day, honestly, for Na'Vi. And fortunately for them, it was literal seconds that they managed to be successful on match point.
And that really is all that matters at the end. We went for the reload right at the bottom of yellow, going in for the fight, and then just that second that you need to reload the magazine, all it takes to get back on the roof.
I mean, hindsight's going to suck in that one.
Yep.
There probably wasn't much you could have done, but you're always going to sit there and think, maybe if I did this instead, or maybe if I jumped the window instead of running down, that's going to sting for a while. But knowing that it's possible to do plays like that, and that they can step up individually, might, help them not lose too much faith going into the next map.
That said, that is the very first map that DarkZero has lost at this event. Na'Vi, they've experienced those high-pressure environments for 2 games so far. Their quarterfinal against Wildcard was terrifying because they lost one of their best maps, Cafe, straight out of the gate. Their first map against Reciprocity as well, an upset to see Reciprocity take that map. This is the first time we're seeing Na'Vi get into the game and start swinging on map number 1.
And we saw Pi truly step up as well.
Yeah,
he had some insane plays there where he did basically more in this one map than we've expected for quite a while.
Yeah, a reminder for everybody watching at home, Doki used to play in Pai's position. Now Doki is away for just a few months. We'll see him come back in, well, around 5 or so months from now. In theory, yes, that was the official statement from Na'Vi. But Pai, they finally were able to find him in the last 3 or 4 play days in EU, basically 2 weeks. He comes in, he plays extraordinarily well for a newcomer, and here he is on LAN when he's supposed to step up in the grand final against DarkZero, and he makes it happen. This is an absolutely amazing story, and I really want to highlight this dichotomy. We're talking about how Na'Vi is sort of like the Empire story that we had before. Empire in Raleigh was struggling until that grand final against G2. Same thing is happening here. Struggle for Na'Vi to get to this position in the final, but they seem to be at the helm, and DarkZero are failing here and there, but this is what matters in the big game.
It's also extra beautiful to watch Pi step up like this because he did fill the shoes of, although a small guy, a really good fragger.
Very angry one as well.
And he took a position of someone who was there to sometimes make some pretty big plays and really get stuff done. And Pai's been super consistent and well at doing his job. But there's a big difference between, you know, getting that wall open or holding this drone or holding that angle and then dropping 3 and 4Ks.
And the fact that he got to do both of those things so successfully, play his role and make a big play that was so integral for Pi. And his role was so essential, instrumental for everything that Na'Vi wanted to accomplish, playing that buck, that soft vertical destruction. It was the name of the game for a map like this. We saw everything from Pi on the very top floor, opening holes to 2 different floors to take down mute drammers, on the bottom floor to enable droning of the middle floor. That's just one example of how Pai's gadget was used to a huge effect for his team. Also, we got to see a lot of use of Skeleton Key actually in combat as well. Always on those windows, holding those flanks. Pai, absolutely MVP for me so far of this map.
Look, Skeleton Key has really had a rise at the Raleigh Major and beyond that until now. It is so fast firing that it will demolish anybody up close, and even a pump shotty, if you're smoke or mute, you sometimes can't really deal with them.
Yeah, we saw some hugely big plays from Pai, but I also want to say there was some really nice new ideas we saw from Na'Vi. I think Emzo's going to dive into those a bit later, but one thing I've never seen before is an impact trick used to counter that piano, or that bathroom hatch. And, well, Nello showed me something new there. I'm really excited to give that a shot myself.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll be on my way to Devon. It's almost like you knew, James. Let's go and talk about this. We'll see you in a second. Welcome back, Devon. Hey.
Yeah.
What's the theme for this one?
So, I mean, the main thrust is going to be some of the plants. They got that, some of their 5-man executes, but to just briefly touch on what Dev Marta was hinting at here, I wanted to show that impact spot because it was very hard to catch it during the match. And it is this hatch right here. And the trick is this hole that was already there. Now, some of this destruction was on the wall itself. The bathroom was done by the impact nade that wasn't there originally. But the important thing is this floor is hard, this floor is hard, and that floor is hard. So this floor right here is the only floor inside piano. That's the only soft floor you could potentially get it through. So Nello doing that, a very smart play, great things like that. It reminds me of when we first saw the very first impact trick back on, it was actually the very first invitational pulled off by the guys that are now Rogue. So some fantastic work there. But the theme here is these 5-man executes we're seeing from Na'Vi. They're getting those plants done, and I bring it up as well because that last round was an example of it. But these, you see here, this one a little bit towards the end of time, 46 seconds left, but all 10 players left alive on both teams. And actually, the players on Na'Vi, worse for the wear on HP. But they still go for the plant. They have control site. And oh man, the crowd is excited here for the rest of this match. I tell you what.
I think the crowd here in Japan really likes Na'Vi. Who
Absolutely, and after seeing plays like this, I can understand why. This is a situation where this should not be happening. You have Nyx here. He is trapped entirely in this space. He's got a castle barricade on the door into Visa. He's got a wooden barricade here on the door into the spiral staircase. But in the meantime, you've got 2 players here just completely taking control of site. The fact that they're able to execute well enough to get a plant down here shows that this worked against them. Yeah, they do lose a couple people on this plant. Nyx does manage to get 1 on the kill, and they are the players from DZ are able to trade it back a little bit. But you see, for example, here, Hyper having to force his way back towards site. Kendra, in the meantime, getting the plant down inside Tellers. And this was far from the last time it was 5-man, but more importantly, it wasn't always in the last seconds. You see here, 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. That means it's less than 30 seconds into the round. What have you got here? Nello already planting. There's a man that should know about that. Mint's right here. Nyx is right here. There's no wooden barricade. This is just failures of intel and just well-planned executes from Na'Vi. Citizen as well holding a position in the corner, but a great play from, you guys were talking about the scout and key plays. That's a great example there. Pi just taking advantage of the softness of the wall in the bathroom. And, you know, he could have maybe had an escape route with the soft patch there, but it doesn't matter because of the way they're able to play this. The ironic part for me here is they actually retake, they meaning DZ, retake most of Piano. But because of taking advantage of the time here and the position of this diffuser, they're able to play from a lot of advantageous positions on the windows, and Na'Vi completely exploits that, despite the man advantage actually being in the favor here of DZ. They pull this round off. It's these executes when they see an opportunity that brought them the first map. It's just, and they're on point. You guys were talking about their ability to warm up at the first map. I think clips like this, as well as that last round, prove they were coming into this warmed up.
All right, well, warmed up. Thank you very much, Devin. We'll come back to you after a second map. Will it be the last one? Will we have a third map in this series? Still yet to know. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching at home. We still have at least 1 more to go, and Coastline is up next. Are you ready? Japan, please lend me your voices. Ikuzo Nihon! Hajime!
Well, we got ourselves a very interesting match, and look in the bottom portion of your screen. Coastline banned 24 times by DarkZero, far and away their most banned map, obviously, next to Villa, and they are 0-0-3. This is Navi's map pick to earn their first championship outside of the UK.
I was going to say, guess whose map pick this is.
Keep in mind, Navi are the reigning UK Premiership champions.
It's true.
But I'm sure they want to be able to say it's coming home. I think I'm like 7, 8, 9, 10 months, a year. I think I'm a year too late, a year and a half too late. Holy hell, I'm late on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm sure they want to say it still.
Maybe they want to say it.
I'm sure they want. I'm guessing they'll want to hold on to that one.
Yeah.
So DarkZero lose their map pick, and that would not be a disaster usually, but this appears to be a map that DarkZero really doesn't like playing. Now, the one saving grace that DZ might have in this match is that I'm sure they've practiced this map. You know, okay, we've talked about this a lot, and the analysts have touched on this as well. When you have a map that you just don't play, you put it in the back, you never let it show in Pro League, in the regular season, and then you get to these momentous occasions, these big matches, it's not saving strategies to practice a map that you don't like to play, but it is preparing for a LAN. That's how I would describe it. And I'm sure that DZ have prepared for this LAN adequately enough to bring some Coastline knowledge to the table. But it's also a map that Na'Vi just right out the gate really likes.
Yep.
So no matter how you shake it, this is going to be an advantage for them. It'll be Na'Vi starting on defense, DarkZero on attack. We'll go to Kitchen first. Ban's already done. Capitao Habana, Echo Mira.
A good point that I think is worth mentioning here is that can be a huge motivator for DarkZero as well. That heartbreaker from Mint at the last second.
Yeah. We've seen that from them in the past where they recover from situations like that.
Fun fact, Na'Vi and DarkZero have combined for all 4 aces at this event, 2 by Mint and 1 by Nello and Kendrew.
That's
Nello got an ace on this map against Wildcard, playing his Gridlock on one of the most disgusting plays I have actually ever seen. It was disgusting.
I think I was busy working on something at that moment, so I didn't get to see it.
Why do you say it like that? It doesn't sound like the way a human says things. I was busy working on something.
I guess I'm working on my evil mastermind voice.
Why are you saying it ominously?
I don't know.
What are you working on? There's like a
Don't worry about it, Parker.
Death machine waiting.
Don't worry about it, Parker.
Yeah, you made it worse. But anyway, the play by Nello on this map was absolutely disgusting.
I bet.
It was horrendous, and you need to watch it. It was... I didn't know humans could do that.
I will check it. The way you're describing it seems like it is exactly what you say it is.
Entry from Nyx onto Hall of Fame, and he'll just sit tight for the time being. I don't know if he's getting droned in or not. It sure doesn't look like he is. He's been droned into VIP, and the Zofia BC will be paired up with him. They'll be in lockstep. Still at Hall of Fame, as there is a theater defense. It's going to be Pi, who has been getting better the longer this event has been going on, and I like that the analyst desk gave him the praise that he deserves. He's a tremendous player, and he's only gotten better and really fit the Na'Vi system quite well. If they do end up becoming champions, he has earned more than his fair share of that trophy. Nyx has made it out from VIP over towards the hallway. There's two people from Na'Vi that are sitting very pretty over by theater. One is actually inside of the theater, the other is outside. There's a mute jammer lying in his way, but the moment that it gets shot, well, Citizen will know it's there. Down goes Hyper. Opening frag of map number 2 is going to go to one of the UK lads, but he gets pounced upon by Nyx, and now Pi gets shut down himself. So DZ might lose the opening frag, but they answer back with 2 and regain a numbers advantage.
DZ with some good control now as well to add to that numbers advantage. Above kitchen, you can do a lot of soft destruction. That's exactly what BC is doing right now. You see 2 of those players on Na'Vi still in sight. 1 saves trying to flank by the blue stairs. BC is a little bit exposed to that as well, as is Hot and Cold. If a push comes up from the blue stairs, DZ could get shut down by said push. Saves just has to time himself correctly. Nyx isn't covering, he's on the other side of the building. Oh, Saves chooses to play it safe and bring it back to sight. That could work against DZ.
That's one for Hot and Cold to shut down Nello, and Saves is there at the doorway, watching as his phone rings away. DarkZero taking quite a lot of lumps. Saves is waiting for somebody to vault on in, but he's distracted for just a second. Now he'll have to go up against BC, but he loses that one. Kendrew's above. He sees the planter, but he doesn't see Hot and Cold. And DarkZero obviously motivated with how close they came to being able to clutch on Consulate. They'll take round number 1.
Good performance there from DarkZero to clear out upstairs. They didn't lose a whole lot for it. They did lose 1 body, but it wasn't something that was going to cost them the round. And they managed to turn it into a plan. The lack of sight presence and control on the first map, Consulate, for DarkZero was not the same, or was actually pretty much what we saw in this round for Na'Vi, is what I was trying to get to. They had a lot of roamers that got punished early, yes, but because of this vertical destruction, the pressure that the anchors felt was insurmountable. They couldn't control their own site, despite how Na'Vi tried. That plant was very late in the round, too. Na'Vi did a great job of delaying.
It was.
Yeah.
Didn't even need to go down. Came close enough. They put Mint on planting duty there.
You got to get somebody to do it. Na'Vi sweating, rightfully so. Oh boy. You got to worry when you, okay, obviously Na'Vi are like, yo, we like Coastline. Look at those stats. DZ ban Coastline all the time, right? So that's why we're here. So when you go into Coastline, if you don't have early success and you're expecting it, you're anticipating, oh, it should be a pushover. We should be able to just take this. If the enemy starts giving you a struggle, that can be really hard on you. I don't expect Na'Vi to lose focus, though. I think this is the type of match where the focus is just, it's ever present in every single player throughout the match.
So, just remember this, Kender's ace, thanks CGG,
yeah,
was on this map as well. So, both aces.
Yeah.
Both aces from Na'Vi came here, so.
Really, really hard to, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. But DZ have already got the opening round, which is a huge victory. Now, mind you, I mean, they got the opening round on Consulate as well and still fell short 7-4. Things can change very quickly, especially on a frag-heavy map like Coastline. The problem that Navi has had over the past day and a half, or 2 days, depending on how your timeline works, is that they can go very cold and very inconsistent when it comes to fragging. Now, Pi has woken up and he's been adding to it, so that's helpful, of course. But if only 1 or 2 guns from Navi are alive, it's not going to work out for them. DarkZero has too much depth when it comes to killing potential. I say that as Hyper just openly misses a shot on a barricade.
Well, I'd say that, yeah, you're right. I mean, we all make those little mistakes, though, right?
Pro player, by the way. It happens.
Now,
Hyper.exe has stopped working.
Nyx has the diffuser. This is really interesting because he's playing on Ashe. The reason he has the diffuser, though, is just because of his positioning. He's inside of that office, and he needs to do a lot from here. He's actually talking to one of his teammates right now. You could see, by the way, he's not looking at his screen.
Could be looking at their monitor as well.
Yeah, could be looking at the monitor.
Teammates do turn the monitors around so people can see them. So Liquid very famously used to do that with Ness.
Yeah, some information being transferred over there to try and move the players back into better positions. Citizen, the first kill. As Hyper picks it up.
Unlucky timing from Citizen as he just drops right on top of Hyper, and it's a surprise for sure, but still one that is likely welcomed from DarkZero. They're poised to strike at just about any moment, speaking of DZ, as it's a double bars take. First shot's gonna go out, and Mint will cut off the mudroom with a smoke grenade. A smoke canister from Nello goes on out, as there's lifelines that are gonna be very annoying. Both teams will trade a singular kill. Saves firing through the wall with Kendra there as well, as Nyx gets the plant down quite successfully. And DZ have obviously been hiding Coastline for a reason. Equalized by Kendra, as we're now back to a 3v3. They'll have to work against the clock, though. DarkZero knows how that feels. Hyper finds a second kill onto saves, and BC's there for one of his own. Kendra doesn't have much HP, and he's got some narrow avenues to work with. He'll tear through BC and expect somebody inside of the courtyard, but he's also got Mint downed. What is Hyper doing? Kendra might be able to get away with this. If Hyper doesn't know, he's gonna have to hurry. Kendra is there. Will he get it in time? Oh my God, Kendra, you are so lucky. You were saved by the goo needle that was in the foot of Hyper, and Navi managed to somehow win that round.
Wow. Navi, whenever they have even a tiny opportunity, managed to bring the round home. And that was just impressive patience. I believe the saying goes, pros don't fake. And they certainly didn't in that round. Great job there to Navi. And, well, a round that honestly, straight up should have been DarkZero's, ends up being one that goes the other way. The top floor clear there from DarkZero was painful for them, but they managed to turn that top floor, once they had it, into a plant pretty quickly. And that's here's that disable. 7 long seconds. Kendra had to stick this in a 1v1, and Hyper misread the situation entirely.
Kendra had enough time to get off, kill Hyper, and then go right back on if he wanted to, number one. And number two, the other thing about that situation is that it was deliberately planted there by Nyx and DarkZero so that you had your back exposed to a rotate hole that was already created, and you had the shelter of the bookcase right next to you. Well, that shelter giveth and that shelter taketh away, and in that case, it gave an awful lot to Kendra and took an awful lot away from DarkZero. That's a heartbreaker as well. DarkZero have just had some pretty miserable luck when it comes to these rounds, and I know people might disagree that these aren't quite necessarily luck.
But it is a
I think attributed to skill in the way that these teams play.
Some things are up to chance, sure.
Yes.
But yes, skill is I think the primary factor here, and I think the word I'm going to use to describe it is the audaciousness on the side of Navi, because whenever they see an opportunity, they are audacious. Whenever they see an opportunity, they seize upon it with reckless abandon. They don't care if they fail in that moment, if they in that zone, whatever it is that's happening. And for example, Kendra sticking that disable, he thought to himself, you know what? If I can disable this, well, I might be able to take a win. What I see most other players doing is faking, checking, faking, checking, maybe winning the fight, maybe not. But that's a risk, and it's just as much of a risk, I suppose, as sticking the disable. But it worked out for Kendra.
DarkZero can't lose focus or composure here. term mental fortitude comes up an awful lot. We use it to describe the Giants every single time they play. And DarkZero, I think, were a team that suffered from mental fortitude-itis as well in the matchups, but they have looked like, you know, stone cold killers, if we're being completely honest. They have had 2 incredible matchups where they have been the dominant team, bar none, and now, well, now they have their greatest obstacle yet, and they find themselves on the ropes, down a map, on a map now, as that they don't ever really play. That is troubling, to say the least. Still, keep your focus, and good things can possibly happen. Bit of a role swap here, as Hot and Cold is going to be on support off of Hard Breach, as Coastline is one of the maps in the map pool that gets the distinction, the only map in the map pool that has the distinction of no Hard Breach being required. This is an absolutely insane play by Citizen as he goes headhunting over that skylight. Kendrew gets the opening pick onto Nyx with a minute to go. I imagine the action will be very swift from here on out.
BC, though, will answer back. There goes Nelly. Okay. So another one for DZ. That's the skeleton key eliminating saves. Pi, though, will get hot and cold as he's positioned himself by the Sunrise Bar. That's downstairs control reestablished for Na'Vi. It means they can probably C4 deny the plant from below. Yes, indeed, Pi has that C4. But he wants to go for a run out. Outside, he knows there's a player on big window, and here it is. Will it work? Answer, no. And it's a resounding answer at that. DarkZero managed to regain the man advantage, but with so little time, it might not matter. They try to reposition for an Aqua Bar plant, and that could work, but it's going to be very close. Again, look at the time. Citizen and Kendrew both poised to counter this plant attempt. Smoke's coming out. It'll be a default plant. That might be bad considering how low the time is, and it is! Kendrew gets the knife to deny! Citizen covering the other angles. There's no time! DarkZero have to stick it, and Hyper has to cover, or it's going to be a win for Na'Vi. He gets one, he gets the second! Hyper's insane, and DarkZero get their second round.
I was impressed as all hell with the way Kendrew played that, and amidst the smoke, it gives an opportunity for DarkZero to get the diffuser down, and then it gets snatched away from them just as quickly, or I guess you could say slapped away from them, as he's a villain in the night. Kendrew coming very close. I guess his luck runs out on that one. He utilized all of it in the second round and the third round. Well, it just ends up falling apart. It comes very close. But Pi could have been the difference maker in that matchup. He was down by the office door. He runs out, and he gets taken away by Mint. If there had only been one member of DZ there, Pi ends up winning it. Bad luck for him. Hyper plays that one perfectly around the deployable shield just as BC falls off. I don't even know if BC got the diffuser down in time or if it was right on the final seconds. I'm not sure. Anywho, that's that gets your heart beating.
That was close, yeah. I mean, it was 0-0, and for those of you who don't watch Siege very often, what that means basically is if the diffuser is stopped from being planted, then the timer will continue, and that will result in a default win for the defenders. Because in Siege, when the diffuser is being planted, you stop the timer dead. So on triple, so if you start planting at 1 second left in the round, it'll hold up the timer unless it gets denied, unless the plant doesn't happen. So as long as you can get it within a second, and DarkZero managed that. It's really impressive stuff. You gotta really commend Hyper again for that coverage. Oh wow, early on.
Okay, bye Nyx, see you later.
Citizen. Run out on North Balcony.
Of course it's Citizen.
Of course it would be, right?
Of course it's Citizen.
No. Is this a, yeah, it's a kitchen defense again.
Yeah.
This is the first site that Na'Vi went to. They did lose it.
They've only won the double bars and that came at the very final seconds.
Yeah.
With Kendrew sticking it, so. He's been their standout, as you can see right now. I mean, all of Na'Vi through the 3 active rounds only have 8 kills. It's not a tremendously high number. DarkZero has been leading the way in terms of kills. You touched on this in our very first map of Consulate that, well, Na'Vi has been playing the objective, whereas DarkZero have been going for frags and playing the objective at the same time. DarkZero got 2 plants down to Na'Vi's 4 in the previous matchup. So far, DarkZero's gotten the plant down once, or twice rather, and come very close the very first time as well.
Andrew's gonna add to the Na'Vi kill count. That's 2. early kills there. Well, I say early. We're half the round through, but what I mean by that is these are engagements and kills that are coming outside of the actual take, outside of the explosive finish that we have to each round. And it's going to keep getting worse for DZ. And saves eliminates Hyper. So DarkZero in a very difficult to recover situation. But they've actually managed to work hot and cold into the main lobby. He could do some real damage from here.
That's a gorgeous shot from Mint that just does not connect all the way onto saves the way it needs to. I'm surprised with that balloon-shaped head that Jaeger has. It was not a headshot, as Mint looked to be decently accurate. Hot and Cold is basically on his own at this point, but now Mint has dropped. This is something that Flynn has mentioned in the past about Coastline, but Kendrew guns through Mint, chew him up, spit him out. Hot and Cold, 1v5, 50 seconds left. He'll see some of the wall evaporate in front of him. Can't do much against the Alda. He has to be aware of two different angles. A flawless round from Na'Vi to answer back. It's Pi who's credited with that very final kill. Everybody from Na'Vi seems to be getting on the action on that one. And we're back to a 2-2 stalemate.
This is about as close as it gets. DarkZero, so close to bringing it back on map number 1, but this time they're not letting it slip away in the first place. Na'Vi, on the other hand, I mean, a flawless round. As much as we've seen impressive clutches from DarkZero so far through this match, you really can't question a flawless round. Sometimes these rounds, they cascade out of our own control. As a team attacking, it can be really difficult when you get 2 kills, maybe 3, like these, that just come seemingly out of nowhere, from positions you just don't expect. But all DZ needs to do is just reset, bring it back to the round-by-round mentality. Just let the new one be something different. Let DarkZero themselves push themselves into a winning position. Now, that's on them. Na'Vi, on the other hand, they need to feed off of that win because it was a big one. We've seen some moments where Na'Vi let the ball go a little bit, lose control of the round, and it costs them in the long run. It costs them in the short as well. For example, that kitchen defense from Na'Vi was pretty lackluster. They had the top floor hold that went nowhere, and then they couldn't even hold their own site. But then Kendrew's clutch with the stick. Wow, a flawless round, impressive stuff. Just attach yourself to that. Let the instinctive play that Na'Vi has been showing us lead through, because that, I think, is what's going to give them the most success.
There's 2 schools of thought that seem to emerge on Coastline here. If we can turn and take a look at DarkZero for a second, and it's whether you stick to a composition every single round or you blow it up.
Right.
Whether you want to run a gridlock, whether you want to run a Capitao, obviously Capitao is banned in this case, but I'm saying just in general, whether you do want to run Hard Breacher, some teams when attacking Hookah in particular, which happens to be the site for our 5th round, is that you'll bring a Hibana and take out those pink walls through the skylight in the middle of the map. DarkZero's been running basically the same thing every single time, and I mean, you have a 2-2 scoreline, so it works. It works quite effectively. Hot and Cold is off of the Hard Breach. He's going to be playing on this buck, as we said before, and oh no, the ADS catching the grenade. And that will be Nello getting to live to see another day. A shot and a half from Citizen onto Hyper, all the way towards VIP and into the record hall. Citizen, what a shot from the back of theater.
Oh, sorry.
No, you continue, please.
Pi going to be retreating to the top of main stairs there. BC not going to be able to shut him down on the rotation. But wait, Pi's coming back. He wants some more. He's trying to fight the top of those main stairs. He's trying to slow down, but no. Okay. He'll make the safe call. He'll rotate back to site. Well, not to site, but kitchen. Mint is going to get Kendrew, though, somewhere, and Pi gets his second. Okay, Na'Vi and Pi individually having a great performance.
It's going to be toxic canisters at the doorway on into Hookah. That will stop Nyx for the time being. Na'Vi does hold the advantage. They'll find another as Mint just runs in all haphazard-like. Nyx does the same through the smoke, but he's dead, and so are the rest of his teammates. Na'Vi take the lead, 3-2.
Great job there to Na'Vi. Now, what we're seeing a lot of from DarkZero through these rounds is a lack of clear plan. Kind of a wonky droning phase, and then the actual attack phase is kind of off when they're trying to push into the defenders. For example, Pi playing a 90. That is a position that is so unbelievably common on this map as a roamer. You can do a lot of work from there. And on a billiards defense, it can be leveraged to your advantage as a defender. But the point I'm trying to get to is Pi shouldn't have been able to get anything done from there. He should have been droned out, shut down. Now, I'm guessing that he's got pests set up to deny the droning, and that's why Pi could not be, Pinsard could not be, you know, shut down. They didn't know where he was. But it's still a pretty common position. You got to expect somebody to be there. And the fact that we even saw BC, for example, miss the shot that would have cut down Pi as he was trying to transition to the main stairs, that's another layer to the failure of DarkZero in that round.
What skin is Nello using on Smoke? It looks like a swamp.
What? That's the year 1, season 1.
No, not the gun. It's that. Yeah, that's like the Pro League Glacier skin, right?
Yeah, it's the Glacier skin.
Yeah.
It's the
blue Glacier skin.
The true OG skin, because there were variants of the Glacier.
There was the white and silver Glacier as well. Yeah.
There's several different variants. There's one for the 5.56 that's unique,
which is currently being used by the F2 right now. Hyper is using the other one.
Yeah, and that's the default one is the one on the F2 for Hyper. Yeah. There's the shot from Hyper. Speaking of.
Fist bumps for you and I. Saves will get one as well onto Nyx, though. So, well, you lose the Ash, but you lose Kendrew. That's way worse that you've just lost your Maestro.
The Maestro is the sufferer for Na'Vi, and DarkZero, they can turn that into a whole lot more. I mean, Nyx has been playing really great, though, to be fair to him. Kendrew has also been playing great, so, I mean, everybody's been playing it. This has been a fantastic match for both teams.
Everybody's good!
Yay!
Oh,
Saves is good!
That's obscene! Nello is there as well. Hot and Cold trades out saves and makes him pay after that disgusting shot, and now DarkZero trails. Still a minute to go, and this is the frenzied pace that we saw from Aerowolf in their matchup against both DZ as well as Giants Gaming. It's going to be emulated by Na'Vi and DarkZero clashing against one another.
Hot and Cold, trying to find something outside. And, I mean, normally you'd say, oh, well, he needs to get to the building and start attacking.
Well, he needs to get to the building.
But he keeps getting run out on, so he's trying to play safe. He's trying to wait for Citizen to attempt to run out from the office again, or even Nello to attempt to run out from exit. Oh boy, there's been so many different aggressive plays being brought out from Na'Vi.
DZ don't know what to do next. Both Houghton and BC have spent the 45 seconds that have transpired, and they've languished. They really have, and they're almost loitering right now in the exterior of the building because they know there's going to be some shotguns trained at them, and the longer that they wait, the more powerful Pi is going to get as more goo mines go down. There's a frag grenade that goes on in, but there's nobody to catch it just outside of the mudroom. Nello as well as Pi are nearby, and you can hear the footsteps of Citizen above, but Nello gets gunned down by BC!
What?
DarkZero has turned an unwinnable situation on its head, but Citizen, the man himself, setting a new record for the most kills in Pro League, is there. He finds one on Drone, guns him down. Off of Drone will come Hot and Cold. He's on very tiny HP, and the diffuser will need to be picked up. Hot and Cold will need to retrieve it. A frag grenade goes on in, and great patience from Citizen right now. You can see the standoff in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Citizen will rotate. Hot and Cold might have an angle. He's given away. Keep in mind how much damage the carbine does. Citizen can get an even greater lead for his team just by peeking, and he removes the head from Hot and Cold. 4-2 for Na'Vi. We'll switch sides.
What a round there for Citizen. And just listen to that crowd.
You know what I was going to say? I really hope the crowd is mic'd, because remember in Sao Paulo?
Yeah.
The very first LAN, and it's like, the crowd is losing their minds. They're just going absolutely insane for a play. And we're like, listen to that crowd roar. They muted the crowd mic, so we just stopped talking. All you hear is just dead silence. I remember I went back and rewatched it, and you're like, listen to this crowd roar. And it's just crickets. Like, oh, okay.
But the funny thing was that Sao Paulo crowd was one of the loudest we've ever had. Those Brazilians,
the room was like shaking.
It was shaking because we had so many people in that tiny little building. That was season 6, 3?
Season 6.
Season 6, yeah.
Season 3. How long do you think I've been involved with this game?
No, I'm sorry. I remember season 3. I was in Poland. But anyway, okay. So we've seen an impressive lead racked up here from Na'Vi. on that first half. Now, it was on the defensive side, and I don't know, maybe we can argue sides, but I don't think that. I think that Na'Vi have just been playing absolutely out of their minds. We almost saw them throw that last round, to be fair, but Citizen saved it, and that's all that really matters in the end. Who takes home the point for the round? So great job to Citizen again. DarkZero, I really am impressed by their ability to attempt to retake in that round.
This is big brain here for Nyx.
What's happening?
He ran all the way out to contest over by the pool, and I don't know if he got anything for his trouble, except for a couple dents on the hood of his shiny new paint job.
Well, he does have a paint job on his mask. DarkZero has not won Coastline since January 14th. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, that's a long time ago.
0-1-4 with 31 bans since January. Goodness.
That's a long time ago.
That was January. You know, January was earlier this year, Michael.
It wasn't, Parker.
It was earlier this year.
Oh, boy.
The rest of the team has picked up steam while Kendrew has trailed off a little bit after his mighty performance through 3 rounds. Everybody except for Nello, of course, who's reunited with that gridlock where we saw him play disgustingly, as I had noted before, on attack. And it was also Na'Vi who ended up winning their defense on Coastline. Now, that's not always common. Coastline, it is unusual to see the attackers walk away with a majority of the rounds.
Or vice versa. It's often one of those maps where either the defenders or the attackers will take a lead and stick with it. Hyper, in this round, gets the first kill. Citizen eliminated, and that's the Jackal, such an important operator. He adds a lot to your clear, and he's going to help out these players from above, but now he's gone, so he can't do that.
Going to burn any ADSs or flash down on the Cool Vibe stairs as the bucking above from Kendrew will be joined by Pi, who sees one but can't secure the kill. Track stingers go out to prevent flanks, and this is a good map to cut down those flank routes because there's only a couple ways once you get up that second floor to get back to the first floor. And well, you're either going to have to destroy those track stingers or suffer the consequences. Hot and cold pick from Pi from above, who is just continuously getting better and better as this game goes on. And Maestro gets spotted and takes a heap of damage as well. He's going to be on flashing HP alongside his teammate Nyx. If that Maestro reemerges, he better swing violently or else Pi will assuredly be able to walk away with the kill. But no, for the time being, BC will just persist by the doorway into kitchen. Just under a minute to go, Michael. Na'Vi at 4. Nyx has now been down. He'll get picked right back up, so I don't know if he got reset or not.
Well, I mean, he's back into the game round, and that's all that really matters, I suppose. Na'Vi have a significant HP advantage, but BC will get saves. So DarkZero not out of it yet. Only 30 seconds left for these Na'Vi players to make a site attack happen. But Nello, does he check the corner? I don't think he's going to. He's not expecting it, and he goes down easily to Nyx. The smoke will cover, but there's no gun to back it up. Hyper gets Kendrew as well, leaving just Pi. He's had an amazing performance, but can he get 4 in 10 seconds? No, he cannot. DarkZero, another round, and they bring themselves back into what seemed to be a map that was slipping away from their fingers.
That could have been the backbreaker for DarkZero. If Na'Vi takes the very first attack, you're up 5-2 at that point. Your motivation is all but gone, and DZ is a tremendous team, but do you manage to prevent Na'Vi from winning 2 after the fact? No, you don't. It's 4-3 now, though, instead of 5-2. That's why I said it could have been 5-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you looked at me all funny, and I was like, could have been 5-2, and you're like, well, that's not how numbers work. And I'm like, well, it's 4-3 because DarkZero won that.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is 4-3.
Yes, it is. That's what I was trying to say. Is it would have been 5-2. Apologies if my words weren't clear, Michael.
I wasn't looking funny. I wasn't looking funny as I was reading your notes.
That's just your face.
Because, well, my face is very funny.
That's not true.
Aw.
Michael, I think your face is beautiful.
Aw. Thank you, Parker.
This play from Nyx was so greasy. Don't compliment me.
I like your beard. I like your beard.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
Cap of pride. Anyway. This play from Nyx was exceptionally greasy, and you don't have any time to possibly drone that out. It's a rat corner that you're going to play in. Somebody's just going to vault in through that window, and it's going to be straight to their death. You can't really combat it. The only real way that I see the Gridlock winning that is if you equip the super shorty, you jump on in and you shoot Nyx. Because keep in mind, Nyx was only on 25 HP or 20 HP or something along those lines. Very, very low.
Yeah, and that's really difficult to win in those situations. In BC got a kill on about 25 HP as well. Because he had been lit up by Pi earlier in the round, and BC still managed to do so much work as that Maestro. Truly an impressive performance from him. He's not the only one, though. Everyone is coming alive in this match. It just seems like you can't compliment all of them all at once without, you know, getting a little... You have to get some specifics in.
I mean, it stands to reason, though, right? You get to the finals of an event like this, and you're not going to have a team that's going to be dragging around the, you know, half-decomposed carcass of a teammate.
Well, you know, since we're bringing that up, I'd like to take a moment to highlight how far Siege Esports has come, because we did have that in the past, and we did, and it wasn't even that long ago, man. We've had moments throughout Siege's history where it's clear that there's one or two players on this squad that, yeah, they're really good and they should probably be with, you know, other people like them, but no. And we're getting to the point where that just isn't the case anymore.
Oh!
Things like this happen.
My! He looks for a second, can't get it. Pi will start things off, and down goes Nyx. Navi is not playing around with this round at all. It's a minute and 10 seconds in. I'll take that trade on the hot and cold quite easily if I'm Pi.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Mozzie, a huge information operator. And hopefully he's pre-placed his pests if you're rooting for DarkZero. But he's gone. He won't be able to do anything. And Citizen adds to it as Nyx is eliminated inside of the IP. Saves trying to challenge a player in Garden. Nello will get BC. Looks like this round's all Navi.
Saves waiting for somebody to peek him. He's not too far off. He'll take out Hyper, gets pushed off. 2 for his trouble. Saves flicks on. 5 rounds for Navi, and they will bounce back. They hasten the pace on that one. They're not gonna let DarkZero breathe at all. Continue to keep him suffocated. That got gruesome.
Yeah, it really did.
That got grim real. That escalated real quick.
The
boy, that escalated quickly.
What's going on in my head right now is I'm just thinking, oh, we're getting to the end of this. Navi, they're so close to finishing it off. We've seen an amazing match so far, but is it really going to be a 2-0 victory over DarkZero?
I mean, I think you have to realize how challenging it was for Navi to get here.
That's true.
They had to defeat both G2 and Empire while also allowing for other teams to lose just to get to this position.
Yeah.
And then on the very final day, Navi took first overall in Europe. I said with 2 weeks or 3 weeks to go, before Doki had even been moved off of the team, I had said, I don't think Navi's going to be able to make it. Not only did Navi make it, they add Pi to the roster, who's been fitting in extremely well, and now here they are.
Remember when you were talking about how Leon said, imagine removing your best player from your team, kicking him off your team.
And they kicked off Pi, and then Pi gets picked up by Navi. And the best revenge, or living well is the best revenge, and in this case, Pi is doing just that.
Pi must be so happy he got kicked off that team. He must be...
I mean, a strange set of circumstances find yourself here, eh? But...
I've been happy to be kicked off the team before.
Oh.
Yep.
That's why we cast together now.
No, actually, I didn't. That was a different team. I left that team. But no, I'm talking pre-pro league. Anyway, here and now, Pi, yeah, boy, he has come alive. He has been such a force for Navi, and you can bet your bottom dollar. You can definitely guarantee that no matter what, Pi in the future, he's got a serious career in Rainbow Six Esports. No matter what.
You hear that, Doki?
Well, I mean, I don't know what it's going to be.
You hear that, Doki?
I don't know where it's going to be. That's all speculation, but he's going to have a future, that's for sure.
I think it's safe to say that Pi has achieved greater heights than Doki, and...
You're making a short joke right now? Oh, no. Doki, I'm sorry. Oh, boy. It's a billiards defense, guys, in case you were distracted, like we were. Billiards defense, Navi looking for an aqua take.
This is a match almost on the line, but for the time being, Hyper has something to say about that. Removing Citizen from round number 9. Citizen has been so good so far. The whole team has, I mean, to be completely honest. As you mentioned, there's been a great amount of depth here. There goes an Evil Eye, and it's going to allow Kendrew to get in a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Evil Eye is going to allow Navi to get the plant, so that's actually a really big piece of utility, and the run out from Mint is shut down by Save, so the plant's happening right now.
It's an explosive end for Kendrew as Hyper finds it. Pi gets another. Pi has been so good. Diffuser down amidst the smoke. There's Nello twisting and turning. He guns down Nyx. Na'Vi are in the driver's seat now. They'll go on to a drone, why not? Give yourself some greater information as saves will hit the deck. Great patience here. A run out will be shut down. And poor Hyper, he started things off so well. I said he's gonna try to say something about it, but Nello is there. Na'Vi Nation on match point, championship point. 6-3.
They look absolutely indomitable right now. Na'Vi are taking every opportunity DarkZero presents. And DarkZero are certainly making a lot of mistakes, leaving a lot of gaps in their defense. In that last round alone, we saw multiple different flaws in the DZ setup. The primary flaw being relying exclusively on a evil eye. Of all things, it can be destroyed, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you're aware of this. DZ doesn't seem to be, because they weren't trying to hold their plan. The smokes came out, sure. The track singers came out, absolutely. There was a lot of cover from Na'Vi, but there should be more tools being implemented to stop the plant. The C4, for example, oh no, it was successful, but not on the planter. The plant was somewhere else entirely. A beautiful sidestep that I even missed the first time. Na'Vi planted not at default, but in fact behind Billiard's table, which did not work for DarkZero. It caught them off guard, and it certainly worked out great for Na'Vi. We're on match point.
Match point and championship point for Na'Vi.
So close.
So close. And honestly, you know, I know that if this is the end for DarkZero, we have about 3.5 minutes, unless Na'Vi decide to just go for broke, which they have been known to do before.
Yes.
I think that you can take some solace in this performance if you're DarkZero. You, event through event, have failed to make it past the quarterfinals. I think even just making it to the semis is a significant achievement. And I know that there's, you know, there's interest, there's intrigue, all that jazz behind DarkZero, but you've got a result that I think a lot of people expected better of. This is interesting. No British, Croatian, or Polish players ever won a Tier 1 event in Rainbow Six Siege, and that might be about to be smashed. I don't want to write off DarkZero because comebacks like this have happened many times.
They have.
But when you look at DarkZero's prowess as a team, they have a lot to learn from. This is a squad that I hope sticks together. They have gotten rid of a lot of shakes, and they are gaining very valuable experience. And while this might not be their event, who knows? The Invitational's not that far away.
I think DarkZero has a bright future no matter what, that's for sure. They seem to have a lot of great support and a lot of great people in their corner. But Na'Vi, here and now, I mean, they're in a great position to win this. One more round, and it's done. Looking to get control of the main lobby. This is a kitchen defense again. Kitchen twice in a row here from DZ. They're trying their best here. Saves, pushing into security. He's going to get lit up. The plant's going down.
Kendrew's getting it off, and Citizen will need to cover. There's 2 for Na'Vi. 1 is being tracked as well, and DarkZero are between a rock and a hard place. Is this over? 2v3. Kendrew finds 1, and Hyper is there. Na'Vi just need a couple more seconds, and it's done. The lads have done it. From Challenger League to champions, the Na'Vi Nation will lift the trophy high here in Japan. Europe will keep the trophy on their soil. It's a quick 2-0, but boy did Na'Vi earn that. Sweating through 2 matches prior, wild card and reciprocity, and DarkZero ends up being their easiest match of the day.
Absolute heartbreak for DarkZero, but absolutely earned for Na'Vi. Such an impressive performance. Almost no mistakes made when they really mattered. And every single mistake DZ made was capitalized upon by Na'Vi. Beautiful to watch. An exceptional match from the Europeans. And North America, no trophy for now.
People will disagree with me on this one, but I think that you have to give the MVP to Pi.
Yeah, I agree.
He steps into this role. He's only had a couple games under his belt at a Pro League level. He wasn't even a Pro League player prior to coming into Na'Vi, and he made his presence known. The longer this matchup went on, and the longer that we saw Na'Vi in this event, the better and more comfortable Pi got. If it weren't for Pi being so new to this squad, it would have to be Kendrew for me. His impact was enormous on attack, on defense. Truly an outstanding player, but the depth on Na'Vi, man, what a showing from them. And of course, there's a celebration and a coronation. We'll send it up to Matt Andrews and your champions, Na'Vi.
What an incredible weekend, and what an incredible final. Our champions, they're Na'Vi! You've done it! You have won it! Kendrew, you have won it! From all the times we've seen you in the past, many people may be sleeping on you guys, as some of us saw you coming up through the UK, M&M Gaming, making stuff work there. Then you move up, then you get spotted, Challenger League, Pro League. We've had this journey before, and the team who did that went and won a major. Now, you're the champions.
Feels amazing. The crowd, honestly, you guys, everyone here, you are incredible. You are absolutely incredible. Thank you for your support.
As a team, honestly, I don't remember watching a team seem so relaxed and enjoying themselves so much as you guys have through that, playing with the crowd, geeing them on as well as dropping bodies. Kendrew, you had this in hand.
I mean, we said during the game is if we enjoy playing, we have fun, we laugh, we play well. If we're stressed, like the reciprocity game on Consulate, we're stressing, we're bickering. If we just focus on our game, have fun while we're doing it, that's what happens.
And prep for DarkZero, did it all go as planned, or was there a time when you just thought, guys, let's rock out?
Not gonna lie, we had about 30 minutes prep, so we just thought, let's focus on our gameplay, let's comfort ban, let's just play our game and just, that's it.
30 minutes prep. Zeronic's looking at me from over there to go and win a Pro League title. Well, I won't keep you any longer then, because clearly you're in a hurry. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new Pro League champion. It's Na'Vi!
Congratulations! EU prevails yet again. 10 Pro League seasons. 1 for America and North America in general. 1 for Latin America and 8 for the EU. Isn't that grand? Na'Vi, our grand finalists, our winners, and their season 10 champions. Absolutely insane weekend here. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm so glad to have everybody back here on the desk. I can't believe it. DarkZero played out of their minds in this game. And here we are. The crowd definitely has a favorite. Na'Vi victorious.
I might say that this is a moment for Europe winning yet another Pro League, but this is the first time we've had anyone from the UK, from Croatia, or from Poland to take a Tier 1 esports event.
Just listen to this. 4,000 fans in Japan going mental for Na'Vi.
I can't hear any of you, I can just hear Na'Vi. I like how humble they were. They go, yeah, we had 30 minutes of prep and we just wanted to play our style and do a comfort pick. That's beautiful.
Every time this team walks back onto the stage during their matches today, the crowd went crazy. Every single time.
I mean, they've proven they deserve it.
Team Empire went Russian champions, to Challenger League champions, to Pro League champions, to Major champions. These guys have done 3 of those steps so far. Next up, in February in Montreal, we have the Six Invitational 2020, the biggest Rainbow Six esports event ever. Na'Vi will be attending, and I think they're gunning for that Sledgehammer trophy.
There's going to be a lot of teams gunning for that trophy, but they have an extra one to fear now, yeah.
Honestly, I can't believe it. DarkZero played excellently, but still wasn't enough. Reciprocity played amazingly today, which is what we expected from them, yet it still was not enough. The crowd is cheering for DarkZero as well. They've done a great bit of work in this tournament, I have to say. This is one of the best seasons that we've had, and yet again, a rags to riches story in a year.
I'm just proud for you.
Hey, you and me both, buddy.
Let us not forget that Na'Vi had to work for it.
APAC, let's talk about them for a second.
Well, ANZ Wildcard gave Na'Vi a serious run for their money. Wildcard all the way through here, whether it was G2 in their way, Empire, it was hard fought every single time. Na'Vi didn't beat Giants once so far. They still never have, but they took that first seed, and they've gone further than Giants ever have. They have asserted themselves as one of the titans, not only of Europe, but of the entire world of Rainbow Six.
I think Navi's next step is going to be the same thing we heard Kaseka once say, that they don't want to, think too much of it until they've beaten the best and everyone. So until they have the Invitational trophy, I don't think they're actually going to be truly happy yet.
No, this is the same story with Team Empire right now. This is the same thing that happened. Milan, they won it, G2 weren't there. They went to Raleigh, they beat G2 in the grand final, they were happy. They still aren't world champions, G2 still are, that's up to Invitational to prove it. Na'Vi are already qualified for the Invitational just by being here. Empire, because they won the Raleigh Major, they're playing at Invitational. Guess what, G2 aren't qualified for that just yet. They're playing in the OGA Pit Minor to try and go there, and then you have the online qualifications. This is already a story building up, and we are mid-November. We are not yet at the end of February, where Invitational stands.
Never have we had this many teams at the absolute epitome of Rainbow Six. We have added another titan to the ranks of Rainbow Six. Na'Vi certainly will have their eyes on that trophy, but for now, it's time to relish in their victory that they've had here in Tokoname.
It's time to relish in our MVP of this matchup. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm applause to our MVP. It's Pi from Na'Vi with a 1.2 rating. The newcomer to the team, showing up when it matters. He had small but pretty big shoes to fill with Doki. But man, did he show up. This final was won on his back as well as Citizen. The entire squad played well. You saw Coastline in the way nobody expected it, and they were all on point. This teamwork from Na'Vi is just on a different level.
Not only can Pi be extremely happy that they won, but coming in and taking over a role that quickly, filling shoes, actually doing well, and then doing that.
And Pi might not be the flashiest player out there, but it is seriously undervalued, exactly what you said. He only had a few weeks to join this team, to learn everything in this team. He's not playing a role where he doesn't have to be as relevant to the rest of the team where he plays solo. No, his role, especially on Consulate, was so essential, so integral to dismantling, using vertical play, every single position, holding flanks, going for entries, and on Consulate, on Coastline, that absolutely immaculate roam as Mozzie. Nothing was stopping Pi. He has earned his rightful place on this team and rightful place as the MVP of this event.
Well, it's time for us to recap this entire tournament. If, ladies and gentlemen, you have been living under a rock for the past couple days, hello, it's Waka, it's Kizoku. What's up, boss? Let's take a look at our bracket. Put it up on the board. Remind you of the games that we've gone through. Airwolf versus Giants. Airwolf make it through. Giants again knocked out on the quarterfinals. DarkZero versus FaZe Clan. DZ 2-0 through Airwolf as well to make it to the grand final. NIP, unfortunately, in the state that they came in, similar to FaZe Clan, wasn't enough. Reciprocity 2-0 take it. They make it to the semifinal playing against Na'Vi. Wildcard gave Na'Vi a hell of a fight, but it was still not enough. It's Na'Vi that beat Reciprocity in a tight game 2-1 in our grand final 2-0 for Na'Vi against DarkZero. My God, what an event. Every single time, it just keeps getting better. We've had a very eventful year, 2019. Welcome back to the analyst desk. We're all here. We're all one big family in Rainbow Six commentary, but also all of you back at home, from cosplayers to people that view all the time on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever you may be watching, on the subreddit, in Twitch chat. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody here in Japan, thank you very much for coming here. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much for coming to this event. We hope to be back in Japan. We love you from all of us at ESL, at Ubisoft. Good night.